Well, good afternoon, people. Hope everyone's good. I mean, what a frustrating game that was in the end last night. Again, Spurs all over in it. So near, yet so far. I think there's definitely a lot of positive things we can bring out of that. I think it also showed us a couple of problems we got there. I think the question a few of us can ask, was that a step down the right road? I mean, for me, it was in a lot of ways. But then it definitely showed our vulnerabilities in a lot of ways as well. I mean, I think Frank got the formation right. I think he got the idea right. We were definitely playing the superior team, no two ways about that. And in the end, the squad depth showed. That was what done us in the end. The squad depth just showed at the end of the day. And the lack of it basically is what done us. Simple as that. I mean, I always get someone at the door on my phone whenever there's a bloody show going on. Yeah, but the depth of it showed big time. And the lack of depth on ours, yeah, they could still make subs where they could bring on quality players. We couldn't do that. When we brought on our players, the massive drop was shocking, basically. But we'll go through that and we'll take it from there. Again, random show as normal, I know that. But going to say like a couple of people quick who's on here. AS winner, afternoon, mate. I'm sure we will get Eze. If not, then blood on the hands of Levy. It will be usual hallmarks. We need Eze on the left side of the midfield to cover matters, along with absence from injury. Mate, if I'm going to be honest, we need Eze as the 10. Maddison, in my opinion, he ain't coming back from this. I don't think he will be able to come back the same player after busting his knee and then redoing his knees again. I think the second injury is an ACL. I don't see him coming back quite the same player. And I think we've got to look ahead for long term with him at the end of the day. Because, I mean, he's quite a brittle fella anyway, isn't he? If we're going to be honest. So, I think we definitely need Eze more than anything now. We need to get a top number 10. And also saying Savino, not so sure really, but it would be an add to strength in attacking options, and number 10 is priority. Yeah, I agree with that. Savino, he's definitely no-brainer as well. Go for him. Because we definitely have lack on that left wing, don't we? I mean, no one can tell me in any means or manner that Odegaard or Tell will cover that 10 position. I mean, that left wing well. Especially after what we saw last night. And I agree. I personally feel we need that number 10 more. But then there's others out there who feel we need the left more. I mean, if you want to be really technical about it, we need both. It's just at Spurs, do you really see both happening? I must admit, I don't. And there's no evidence to show me that it will. Maybe Levy will get his act together. Again, we won't know until the end of the window. We never do. And Tony, big up Dan and Guest. Big up to you too, mate. In the chat. And Spurs were all saying Eze and Savino will both be called off after the game on Saturday. We know how this ends. Levy does like to seem to do that one, doesn't he? Put a couple of things down before a game or before the end of a system, whatever else. And that aspect, Levy does like to do that. It does silence people a little bit. I mean, we got the protest coming on. And maybe that's something to quieten down the protests. I don't know. Will we get Eze? I don't know. Will we get Savino? I just don't think we know. I mean, we're meant to have put in a bid for Eze now. So it says on some things, and then other things said we're just preparing for the bid and whatever else. The question is at Spurs, what does that actually mean? I mean, we hear this a lot and then nothing ever comes of it. And Liam saying, big up, Dan, big up to you too. Danny D saying, any update on Sava and Ellie? I honestly don't know what you're trying to say there, mate, unless you've unless you spelt something wrong. Alex, how you doing, fella? I mean, based on what we are a right road, Dan, we still lost. I didn't make a statement, Alex. I asked a question. is this down the right road? And that's just it. I mean, Alex, if you want to come on and say your piece, mate, feel free for it. You know, you're always welcome. But that is the question I'm going to ask. Was it a step down the right road? I think it was. I think there was more positive than negative out of it. But again, we're going to that. Got a guest on there. I'll bring him on in a minute. And then Being says, rivals fans are saying we will be so hard to play against. Now just add 3 more additions to it. If it was as simple as that. I mean, I totally prefer us playing 5 at the back anyway, or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it. I prefer playing that way anyway. And I think this team, not much different from last season, bar a player. I think this team is made to play with wing backs, not wingers. But again, it's just a personal opinion on that. And Dean, afternoon, Dan, good afternoon to you too. And what's Spurs rule saying here? Do we really think Parish will entertain anything less than release clause? Same with Savino. Both should have been in yesterday, but we would have won. Quite possibly. Instead, we had to play Tell. And yes, wasn't he shocking yesterday? And Dave, how you doing, fella? Am I wrong when I say it's Thursday afternoon and Eze exit is on Friday? I've heard that, but again, I don't know the facts, mate. I mean, you do hear a lot of things. Palace wants 68.5 million in 3 payments over 3 windows. Palace won't change their stance. Why isn't the deal done? How many times has that happened? And Spurs rule, we need 8 additions to challenge for top 4. We need to build on that squad size, definitely, not just the first 11. I mean, the squad size really showed it yesterday, the lack of depth. And Elvis, big up to you, mate. Dan, I don't trust Levy to sign these players. Is there any reason to trust him? Again, time will tell on this one. And Rooty 2, how you doing, fella? Until cost us 45 million, including his loan deal. We basically sold Harry Kane for, let's say, 50 million and Tell. I think that just about says everything. And Rooty just saying, make that euros. Being also saying 58 million plus 7 million add-ons is the first Spurs bid for Eze, apparently. Pretty close to the release clause. Yep, sounds like it. Although I imagine payment terms for favour Spurs' latest news. And a user, proud of Frank and team, amazing transformation in such a short time. Did show. Yes, I think it did as well. There was definitely positives out of it. And Levy shortcomings, back this manager, don't screw it up. Totally agree with you. And Jonas C, big up to you, Dad. Big up to you too, mate. Would you accept a bid of 25 million for Archie Gray? Yes, I would. So what I'm bringing my guest here, and we're going to have a chat about a couple of things. Ben, how you doing, fella?
Yeah, I'm really good, Dan. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, a little frustrated from the game yesterday, must admit, but I can also see there was definitely a couple of positive things we can look at on that game as well. Some frustrating points, yes, and it showed a few points that we definitely need to fix.
Yeah.
I think it also had positive side to it as well. Whereas most games we lose, as all we can talk about is a negative side to it. I do think there was positive with it as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, me personally, I'm feeling a plethora of different emotions. I'm angry, I'm heartbroken, and I'm proud at the same time. It's really confusing as a Spurs fan. Usually it's just the anger and the heartbreak. But no, look, listen, do you know what it is? I think when you set yourself up mentally, knowing you're going to get your ass whooped, and then to turn up the way we did. I mean, listen, Frank has done a fantastic job to get that performance out of the players in such a short amount of time. I'd have never guessed it. I'm pretty sure 90% of the Spurs fan base wouldn't have guessed it either. It was truly a magnificent display for 80% of that game. But to have that hope, that dream ripped away from you in the last 3 minutes of the game, I did not know how to react. I don't usually get mad about Tottenham games, to be honest. I just kind of let it go over my head. But I was a little bit nettled last night. What were your feelings at the final whistle, Dan?
I mean, you say like we played a totally different game, which we did, yeah, and how quick Frank got this together and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, does that actually just show that how wrong Ange did actually get it, and the players maybe just weren't in the process?
It does.
Because they seem to have adapted very quickly. I mean, I've been saying for ages that this team is made to play 5 at the back, 3 at the back, whatever people want to call it. Call it 3 at the back with wing backs, 5-2-2-1, 3-4-2-1, whatever way you want to put it. I think this is what this team's made for, personally. But again, that's personal opinion, and you can't go low against every team you play because others are just going to shut up shop. And so you've got to have an attacking side to your system as well. And this is where we asked for someone like Frank, a coach that has got a plan A, B, and by the look of him, has a plan C as well. I mean, I think he definitely got it right last night. I mean, we were playing the best team in Europe, for God's sake, which bar 2 players, they put their best team out on there. Yep. And we were playing, like someone said, a formidable force yesterday. And with that, I think Frank got it totally right. I think he got the formation right. I think the players knew what they were there to do. They knew where other players on the pitch were, whereas last season it seemed to be that one of our players got the ball and they just looked totally lost. And there was a lot of positives about it with the tactics, the players got stuck into it. The way we went for every tackle and then went for every second tackle to win the ball. And considering we didn't have that much going forward as such, I thought we'd done well. The thing that let us down in the end was the fact that a few players were knackered. The subs were absolutely terrible, but I can't really blame Frank for that in the aspect of what else did he have to bring on? I mean, Paulinho, I think he had a really good game, but you could see he was shot. I mean, he's only played like something like 2-3 games in a matter of 3 or 4 months. And I think Bentancur had a brilliant game. I think a few people had a really good game last night. But it was as soon as we made the subs, we just went to shit, basically, as far as I'm concerned. It literally showed how weak we are.
The game itself was really surprising. And you know what? There was a good sort of, I'd say 5 or 6 players in our team that, that can produce a performance like that. You start second guessing yourself. Was I right about that player? Like you say, Bentancur, one of them. Star was magnificent, probably the player of the game for me. It was a mind-blowing performance, and the fact that Frank can even get that out of them players in such a short amount of time is certainly something I wasn't expecting. I mean, I think like the rest of us, we was all expecting a severe arse whooping, but the fact that we were so strong, we were so strong and so resolute, and just everything we did. There was a bounce to it, and it just felt so right. However, as much as I agree with how you feel about Frank, I do wonder, the whole Ange situation as well. I wonder how much of it is a new manager bounce. You've always got to take that into consideration. It's a known thing, isn't it? But
I think that's a fair point. It does happen.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But I think you could see the system and the way we were set up, and it was just a breath of fresh air. And the thing is, you can really see what he's trying to implement. Like Frank really makes a point of saying, put your body in the way, put yourself in the line of fire. Yeah. Really, and I love that. And we haven't seen that for a fair few years. Just things like that. Fight for that second ball. Make it hard for the opposition. You saw these things, and it was really nice to see. As for the substitutions, right, so I'm just going to throw this out here, right? So I do put blame on Frank for the substitutions. I will give you my thoughts here, my explanation as to why. Right. So it's such an important game, and I don't know if everyone else deems it important, but for me, I thought the Super Cup was absolutely huge. So for me, it's a big game. Given that statement, maybe, and I do understand it, maybe leaving Basuma behind wasn't such a good idea, given the fact that the alternative was Mr. Archie Gray. And I've defended that boy in the past, and I'm not feeling so defensive of him, shall we say, at this current point in time. When Gray and Tell came on, right, the level of intensity dropped. You could really see it, and you could say, "Oh, but it wasn't either player's fault." Absolutely, but you could say it wasn't either player's fault. For the goals that were conceded. Well, you know what? I beg to differ just a little bit. So, for instance, with Matthew Tell, he's not an intense player anyway. He's not very. His intensity isn't there, and it never really has been.
For me, from the minute Tell has been here, he has been a waste of space. And in the aspect, the way I say that is because I have not seen him play one good game. I've not seen him do anything which shows and justifies altogether the 55 million we've spent on him. That's including his loaning.
No.
People will say you're having a dig at a player, whatever, he's young, this and that. Well, I don't care if he's young or not. He's getting paid thousands and thousands. And if he's good enough for that first 11, good enough for that team, then it should be, I judge in the same way. The only thing I will give him leeway on, same as I would with Gray, is experience. But if you're good enough for that squad, you've got to be up to standards when you come on.
There are levels. No, there are levels. There are levels.
Not once have I seen Tell with any sort of capability on that pitch. If anyone else sees it, please do tell me, because I bloody don't.
I don't think, with Tell, right? Listen, don't get me wrong. The racism thing was absolutely disgraceful. I mean, I don't want to make that the narrative, so let's just move away from that subject. But with Tell, I certainly understand. And to be fair, people have a right to criticise how poor he's been. Like, since day dot, I mean, I was excited when he came to the club as well, because I'm an idiot. I went and looked at the videos. I thought, we've got a tasty player here. How wrong could I have been? And it just goes to show.
Ben, with what you just quickly, I mean, I ain't going to go too deep into that bit. I don't know the full story on it with the racism bit. Now, if people are being racist to him and judging him because of his skin colour or whatever else and that, then they need to get their shit together. You don't do that, But on the other side of it as well, I've been told I'm racist. Well, because I didn't call Son world class. I've been told, you're racist because he's South Korean. Or I've said other things before, and I've had people in the chat go and tell me, and I've seen it happen to a lot of other people, that, you just don't like the player because he's black, or you don't like the player because he's Asian, or you don't like the player because he's not English and that. A lot of that goes on as well. But the stick that he did get, from what a lot of people have told me, is right. It's undeserved. You don't do that. There's no need. But on the other side as well, just because you don't rate a player, that doesn't mean you're being racist either. And that is one of the problems with this, because it happens on both sides. And it is wrong when people accuse you of that. But then when you've got the pricks out there and go and do that as well, they should just be taken down an alleyway and not walk out of it, basically, as far as I'm concerned.
But Dan, do you know what I don't want to happen with Tell? I don't want this whole racism thing to mask the fact that he was poor. That's what I don't want to happen.
That is what I'm basically saying. That's just where some people love to try and make an excuse. And do you know what? When people do that, it actually makes it harder for the poor fella when he does cop it. And I think this is where people have got to get a few things right. You can't just go judging someone because of their colour, because of their religion, whatever else and that. Do you know what? At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what your religion is. I ain't religious. I don't care what colour or country you're from. As long as you perform on that pitch, that's all I care about. Yeah. But then me and others have been labelled several times that we're this, and this, just because we don't think a player is good enough. And I don't think that does anybody any favours either. But anyone who's being generally racist to the fella, like I said, they deserve to be taken down an alley. I've got a lot of good friends from a lot of cultures, from a lot of countries and that. I mean, the fella I call basically my brother that I've been mates with for 30 years and that, from his family from St. Lucia and that.
Yeah.
And the problem is where it does go on both sides. I mean, I've been called racist before because I don't like Ange, because he said he was a crap manager. And it's pricks like that that also make it harder for when it genuinely does happen as well. Yeah. It's bad on both sides there. And anyone who was doing that, like I said, take them down an alley. I'm sure they wouldn't walk out of it. But let's leave that one at that. With the players last night, I thought some of them really stood out. I mean, the one I really want to go for first is Spence. I mean, for me, Spence got man of the match. Was man of the match. I don't see how the hell. What's it? Who was it who got man of the match? Dembele. How the fuck did he actually get man of the match?
Tell me something. With man of the matches, does it have to belong to the team that win?
No, of course it doesn't.
Then that makes zero sense, because as far as I'm concerned, Dembele did nothing for a large majority of that match. Nothing.
No, he didn't.
You can't do that. You can't give it to Dembele, mate. It doesn't make any sense. The thing is, you could have given that man of the match award to a number of Tottenham players. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I would have said you could have given that man of the match award to any number of them, maybe 7. I mean, Danso was fantastic. Bentancur was amazing. They were all really good. But yeah, to give it to Dembele, just
for me, it was Spence or Bentancur on there.
Yeah,
they were the two that I thought played brilliant. But the one I want to go to at the moment is Spence. Yeah. I mean, tell you what, with that one, I'll cut that one a second. Yeah.
Go on.
What do you think about the tactics last night? We go to the players in a minute, yeah? And I just want to bring up Super Chat here quick. There we go. Sorry. Paul Watkins, thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Big up panel, lads. We were unbelievable last night. Spence and Sarr, wow. Exciting times under Frank. If he's backed, bench isn't good enough. Totally agree with you, mate. 100%. Much appreciated. Thanks a lot, fella. And another one, Jason H. Thank you very much, mate. Big up, gents. Decent performance last night. Disappointing to lose the way we did. Never mind. I think we will get better. Totally agree with you. And thank you very much to both of you. It is much appreciated. So what am I saying to you? Tactics.
Yeah.
What do you think on them last night? Because I know a lot of people don't actually like playing with five at the back. They say it's boring football. They say it's pragmatic football. They say it's Conte style, this and that. I think yesterday just proved to a lot of people, whether they want to see it or not, is playing with five at the back doesn't mean you're necessarily playing totally defensive. No. I like playing five at the back with direct counter-attacking football with 3 direct passes and you're up the other end of the pitch, which we did do a few times. It's just up that other end of the pitch. We were very weak. So on
you
the
had a good time
side
under
of it,
Conte, didn't you, mate?
So on the tactics side of it, what do you reckon with the tactics that Frank used? Should he have used different tactics or did he get it right?
Well, look, to be quite honest with you, I was like many of the other fans. I saw the initial lineup and thought, oh no, here we go. It's going to be, we are going to sit in and be absolutely peppered the entire game. That's what I thought. However, given the formation, I was really surprised how offensive we actually were. For the first
This is what I've been telling people for ages, Ben. Just because you're playing with 3 or 5 at the back, it doesn't mean it's an out-and-out defensive game. And a lot of people seem to believe that. But sorry to interrupt you. Go on.
No, I think you that to that point, you're right. But I do think it can leave you in a lot of trouble playing that sort of formation, especially, trying to build up from the back can be quite difficult. You do tend to leave quite a lot of space in that, midfield and wider areas at times, especially the way Spence and Porro were playing slightly higher. So there was that little gap that they could get in. But no, honestly, the tactics, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a masterclass. It's just a shame we didn't get the result. But in terms of the tactics, Dan, unbelievable. Like I said, I thought we was going to get peppered, mate. And we really didn't. For the most part, we was in their half. It was beautiful.
How many people actually thought we was even going to score a bloody goal?
I didn't.
I didn't see where it come from, basically. So in that aspect, let alone get a draw and let alone score bloody 2.
Yeah, it was beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful. And the way Paulinho got to that ball. I mean, I know he didn't score, but that was like a striker, mate. The way he flicked that ball onto the crossbar, unbelievable. But no, it was such a beautiful game to watch, and I just wasn't expecting it. But the tactics, mate, were absolutely sublime. And the fact that he's even managed to get that out of players in, a month and a half of being here, blows my mind, mate. I have no idea how he's done it. No idea.
But look, for me, this absolutely shows how it was there anyway. This is the other thing I've been going on about in the aspect of I mean, I wouldn't say that's a special team in any sort of way.
No.
But definitely better than bloody 17th, yeah?
Yeah.
And also with that, I'd say that's a respectably good team up until you get us up front. And I think that's what cut us off last night as well. Again, it's personal opinion, but I'll come to that, yeah? And it's just repeating it over and over again. In the fact of you can get a bang average team or even a team that ain't that good. You play the right formation for them. You play everyone to their advantages to what they're good at. You can make a bang average team look pretty good. Yeah. But then you can go and get a world-class team, play them all the wrong way, wrong formation, what don't suit them and everything, and they will look like shit. And that has happened before.
No, you're bang on, mate.
I think we got it right last night in so many ways. I mean, I think the thing that definitely let us down in the end, the finishing did us no favours. because we could have had another goal or two if Richarlison knew how to kick it in the back of the net. Not that he had a terrible game, but
No, he didn't.
It just comes down to it. Before, I've seen Werner have quite a good game, but he just can't pass, cross, or bloody shoot. I mean, Richarlison, we'll go to the players again in a minute, but you do agree, basically, the tactics, he got it right.
Yeah, beautifully right.
For who we were playing against.
Absolutely. The game plan was borderline genius, and it worked perfectly. And I'll tell you one other thing that I don't ever want to hear. I heard a lot of people going, oh, PSG didn't turn up. Yes, they fucking did. We nullified everything they tried to do. Go on,
I'd say for the first 15 minutes, well, don't tell me you haven't seen PSG play better than that. I'd say for the first 15 minutes, PSG come on a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
But only for the first 15 minutes. I mean, maybe they came on a little bit like, it's only Spurs, we're going to walk all over them. And I think they had a bit of a shock and had to get their shit together. In the first half, I thought we dominated them basically overall. I mean, I think they had, 2 shots? Their passing was much more superior to ours, basically, but every pass of ours seemed to matter, whereas they was doing a lot of short passes to each other and stuff like that. That's why stats can lie again. I mean, I think by the end of the first half, didn't even have 100 passes, and they was nearly on 300. But it didn't exactly do them many favours. I think the second half they came out to play the game. But I still think we had the better of them until, let's say, 70 minutes.
No, I think it was 80 minutes. No. Even their coach said 80 minutes.
Oh, fair enough. But I'd say it was a little bit before then that they started getting control, basically. But it was definitely when those subs were made that it fell apart. So we both agreed that he got the tactics right.
Yes, absolutely, 100%, mate. Like I said, a miniature masterclass.
I mean, like what Ellie says here, big up Ellie. Hope you're having a good day. I mean, he played with the cards, Dan, as you always relate to, superbly, and boy, did he get it right tactically. I thought we played a great match, just the bench wasn't great, and yeah, you're right, and wasn't as great as experienced as theirs. 100%. And this is what I've been saying I want a coach to do. This is what I expect a coach to do. Adapt to the game. And it doesn't always mean change the whole formation. But this time he did. You got to adapt to nearly every game. Because every team has different players that are their prime player as such. Some will have a striker. Some will have a left winger. Some will have a midfielder that totally controls it. And that's where you got to adapt to games, in my opinion. But he totally changed us to a different formation that we haven't played for a long time. And you would have thought that's our usual formation.
But let's be honest, though, you do need a squad that is capable of even achieving that. And before yesterday, you would have said that's probably not the case with the current squad that we've got, right?
No.
No?
Chance.
Go on.
No, I've been saying for nearly 2 years that is the formation and style we should play.
Literally, no, but I mean, in terms of no, I'm with you, but in terms of adapting to different formations, because we tried, I think, 2 different formations under Ange, and it failed miserably. We did try a 5-back once with Ange, and it just, I can't remember.
For about 15 minutes, and then look who he had as the 3 bloody centre-backs.
It was shocking.
Archie Gray was in there, for God's sake, if I remember right.
No, Archie Gray was CDM, and he was being told to pull back in. I think the way that he set up, we had the midfielders, but Archie Gray was being.
Either way, my point is, when it was done, it wasn't tactically tactically done right, was it? Yeah.
No.
And for me, that team is made for a 5 at the back. I mean, when I say 5 at the back, I mean wing back. Some call it a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1. I just use it as 5 at the back because the wing backs are dropping lower. That team for the past 2 years, I mean, Conte style with this team would suit it down to a T with the wing backs.
Yeah.
He would have killed for those wing backs and that defence in the way he plays. This is made for counter-attacking direct football. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that, but again, it showed. It's not just sitting back. We actually played Porro to what he is good at, an overlapping wing back. Now, again, I've had the debate with other people. I don't think Porro's a good defender, personally. Same as I don't think Udogie's a good defender. They can do their piece when they have to. I think Porro's better at getting in front of the ball than actually making the tackles and marking his man and whatever. Because for me, he's an attacking player. He's not a defensive player. He's
I feel like he's improved there, though. Do you not think Porro's improved defensively? I genuinely do.
Yeah, but it still don't mean he's good. he's not a right back. He's a wing back. And that is two total different styles of play, basically. Yeah. The wing back is there to, help the defence when he has to, but is to basically get up the other end of the pitch, to do the long distance, to get the ball in there as well. And that's what he's made to do. That is what he was there for, not to invert as a number 10, not to sit back and defend or whatever else. He has always played as a wing back. And with that, all of a sudden, he looks like a 10 times better player. Yeah. Spence on the left looked quality as well. Again, playing another one to what he is good at, to what he is best at, basically.
Do you feel Spence is actually better on the left than he is on the right? Am I alone in that camp?
Do you know what? Like I've seen him play better on the left than I have the right.
Yeah.
Overall, when I have seen him play.
Yeah.
And for me, out the two wing backs and that, he's my first choice. Because again, it's just personal opinion. I prefer three at the back. And with that, I want one of my wing backs to be more defensive than the other one, basically, yeah? I want one of them to be able to... So for me, I either pick Spence to go on the left or the right, and then Porro or Udogie, one or the other, basically. Yeah. And that's just how I do it. I do prefer one of the wing backs to be able to defend. And Udogie and Porro, I just don't think either of them are great defenders. They are more attacking wing backs, and that's what they did at Udinese. That's what he did at not Porto, Sporting Lisbon, wasn't it? We got him from, and that is how they play, and it just showed it was better. But Dietrich, Ellie, how are you two doing?
Yeah, I'm knackered. I didn't get a wink of sleep.
I didn't sleep much either.
Tossing and turning, went into Brian's show like yourself, Dan, and I just didn't get no sleep. So hence the bags under the eyes.
Bit battered, yeah.
Bit battered and bruised because it's heartbreaking last night. Totally gutted.
Sweating in
this.
We
deserved to win it. We deserved to win that match. The effort we put in, the players were on top of their game. And if we had a better striker, if we had a number 10, I reckon we easily win that match, regardless of the lack of quality on the bench. I think we would have won it in the 90.
Oh, Ellie, you're absolutely right. I mean, even their manager came out at the end of the game and said Tottenham deserved to win that game. They were the better team up until the 81st minute, was his exact words.
Yeah, true.
I think, do you know what? I said this to Dan earlier. Do you not think we were all prepared mentally, weren't we, to go there and maybe lose or 3-4-0, weren't we? But I think the pain is so much worse when you are given the hope of, oh my God, we are doing fantastic and we deserve to be where we are in this game. But I think towards the game and losing in the manner that we did, do you not think that just hurts so much more?
It hurts. It hits you right in the heart as a Spurs fan, right? Because we all were expected to get battered. Most of us, anyway. We expected to get ripped a new one, but we held down.
Ellie, who even thought we'd score a goal, for God's sake?
You know what I mean? And we scored 2. And that
you know what I mean?
One that went into the side netting, I thought that had gone in. If that had gone in, that was game over.
I know what one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, but I thought first and second balls we were brilliant. And Danso with his missile throws, my God, that is a weapon in itself, isn't it, lads?
Rory Delap style, good Lord.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean, so you think he got the tactics right, yeah?
Yeah, 100% spot on, right? And like you say, Dan, we're a counter-attacking team. If we get the number 10, we can mix it up. If we get another left winger and a nice striker who can finish, right? Because we haven't got a clinical striker. Solanke's not clinical. He needs 7 or 8.
And neither's Richarlison.
Richarlison is Richarlison. We can't get over. Even he has got better stats than Solanke in his career. You know, so
days.
He put a shift in yesterday, though. I like what Richarlison did. You know,
but at the end of the day,
not to win a couple of more fouls where he.
You know what? I mean, we'll go to Richarlison in a minute because I want to go through a couple of the players. Yeah, Dietrich, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, right, Dietrich.
All good, thanks.
Apart from it being bloody sweating here, that's why I just had to put a sports top on, for God's sake, because otherwise I start sweating underneath my bloody arms. It is absolutely cooking.
I know.
And so go on, Dietrich, do you think we got the tactics right last night?
Okay, let's start. Yes, we did have the tactic right. Yes, he did what I always wanted a manager to do, which was 3 at the back, Dan Silva and Van Romero. He did exactly what I wanted, Spence and Poro, a wing back. My only issue, and I'll say it again, there's a difference between having tactics right and managing a game. For
Okay.
me, we did not manage the game properly, and that's where I'm going to criticize Thomas Frank and his inexperience. I'm not saying he's a bad manager before anyone criticizes me. I'm just saying Mourinho would have never let that happen, or neither Conte. There's a difference. Yes,
Explain your thinking.
I'm explaining
Hang
my
on,
thinking.
let me explain everything, Ben. Dietrich, he does go into his detail.
Yeah, so he did start the right formation. Yes, he did the right tactics. Yes, we destroyed PSG, but yeah, sure, Paulinho did not have many minutes, but it is the time to play a 5-5 formation, which is sit deep, stink it out to the point that you're going to be bored. You have 10 minutes and you're going to win the cup. Only 10 minutes. And we had 3 minutes where we're 2-1 up. You just managed the game. But where I'm going to criticize his inexperience, Archie Gray should have never stepped foot on that pitch yesterday. Never. I'd rather see him play Bentancur, Bergvall, and Sarr, players that do have that experience in midfield. Not Archie Gray, a person in the number 6 that is totally lost against the likes of Fabian Ruiz and Vitinho in midfield.
He did look lost when he came on, Dietrich.
Yeah, and this is where I'm a bit annoyed with Thomas Frank, because I thought he was gonna do better. He started everything right until he fucked it up last minute. And for me, that's a huge red flag. I hope he learned his lesson, he doesn't do it again. But Archie Gray should never step foot on the pitch as the lone number 6. Never. I'd rather put Bentancur as a 6 than Archie Gray.
So what should he have done then? Because in my opinion, do you know what? I get what you're saying. And watching the game again this morning, I can go with that, yeah, because I mean, for me, there was more positive for the game, but there was points you can pick out for it. And how do you improve? Some people will say, why do you have to go for the negative side as well? Well, that is how you improve in life, yeah?
Yeah.
I just don't think he had many options. I mean, Paulinho was knackered. You could blatantly see that.
Well,
and Sarr had put it in as well, basically. He was pretty knackered.
But I'll just say one thing.
He didn't have the options. I think it showed our lack of depth, Dietrich, more than anything. But I can see where you're coming from.
Sarr was substituted in the 90th minute. At this point, I would just stink it out, letting him 6 minutes. It was 6 minutes at a time. Leave him on the pitch for 6 minutes. But the sub that really annoyed me, and I know a lot of people don't like him, especially me, I don't like him. Johnson should step foot ahead of Matisse Tel as a striker.
Yeah.
That one, it made no sense to me. And even Oderberg should be ahead of Matisse Tel. Those two should be ahead of him. But the fact that he played Matisse Tel tells me, I guess he gave a green light for he wants Matisse Tel going forward. And that was, for me, the biggest mistake he ever did.
You know what? Saying that, I don't rate Johnson in any way, but I give him the credit that he can tap it in as such. But if you give me the option, it's a bit of a no-win situation in some aspects because they're both bloody crap.
But that's his position.
But I can see where you're coming from. You know what? Because he plays that for Wales, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see where you're coming from in what you're saying. I mean, basically, the picture I'm getting from what you're saying is, even though, let's say, Sarr was a bit knackered, whatever, and that, we should have just basically gone to 10 at the back, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And just tried to shut up shop. Now, some will say that we did that, but it wasn't intentional. We got pushed back, basically. Exactly. There's a bit of a difference.
Yes.
So basically what you're saying is, even though Sarr was a bit knackered, whatever else, he's still more experienced and better than Archie Gray. And he should have just said, right, I don't want you running about no more. I don't want you doing this and this no more. Just come back, sit back, and just put your life on the line. Basically, is that where you're going?
Yes, even Polina, to the point, like you saw him, he was knackered. But there's a difference between defending, and just staying in position. I would have just told my players, stay in position, do not move, do not tackle, do not do anything. Just sit in front, manage the game, and don't let them shoot, don't let them pass around. The same way we did to Man U, like the last couple of minutes when we won the cup.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd like to add to that, right? Because I think
that is fair.
Yeah, it's fair, very good analysis there, Dietrich.
I think that is quite fair.
Yeah, but also what I'd like to point out, Kudus and Richie going off was a big impact as well, because we were just doing an outball and no one was there to pick it up. So it was coming straight back up at us in the last 15, not just the last 10. The last 15, they saw that weakness. And when a fantastic team like that smells blood, they'll go for the jugular, right? And they did. And that shot by Kane, whatever we did to try and stop that, I think if Paulinho was there, just holding his line like Dietrich is saying, I think that we get closer to stopping him getting that shot in. Yeah, because Paulinho, one thing he's bloody good at is keeping his position. He knows he's right inside out. So that.
But he has played lack of football, Ellie, over the past
I get that
4 months. Like he was knackered.
Yeah, I do get that, but just on what Dietrich is saying, just hold your line, stink the game out for the last 10 minutes, and we would have got over the line. Maybe they would have scored one, but I reckon we still would have won it. But the two boys up front, they were holding the ball up. Surprisingly, Richie was really good at holding the ball up for us. It shocked me.
And even that game was made for Johnson the last 10 minutes, because the way PSG defensive line just pushed so high, like the Ange line, for me, he should have put Johnson and just utilize his pace.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Can I throw my 2 cents in here, right? Like, people are saying, how can you blame the substitutions for the fact that we lost, right? Let's just analyse that for a minute. Let's look at Gray, first and foremost. Gray was rooted to the spot and was not pressing anybody. He was rooted to the spot and he's pointing at other players, which was driving me crazy.
I saw that as well.
He was standing off everyone, and this is going to sound nuts here, just on the Gray subject, was it a good idea to leave Basuma at home? Because Basuma wouldn't have done that. Basuma would have charged. Right? I'm just going to throw that. I'm going to throw that out there. But then let's move over to Tell. Tell, as I said before, he's not a high intensity player. He's not. Okay, and he's got zero defensive ability. Say what you want about Johnson, right? People talk about he could have stretched us. That's fine, but Johnson has defensive ability. I've seen him pull back plenty of times and make plenty of tackles. He's not the best at it. Don't get me wrong.
Johnson, are you being real?
I'm being dead serious, mate.
Oh,
yes, thank you, Ellie. Thank you very much. He is so much better at it than Tell. That's a cold hard fact. That's not an opinion.
Right. Maybe better than Tell, but one of Johnson's biggest problems is he never came back, and one of his biggest problems is he's built like a boy basically, and just gets knocked flying all the time. One thing people complained about him last season was that when he was on the right hand side, apart from a tapping, he does nothing, and he never comes back for the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't see how you can say he's a good, like he can get the ball or defend in any means or manner, but is he going to be any worse than Tell?
Fine.
I think that's the fair point.
I've seen him do it much more than what I've seen Tell do it. Look, listen, what's Tell done? Like the way I didn't even analyse Tell. He was jogging everywhere, number one. And for me, when you're in that situation, you're 2-1 down in a cup game that could end in a trophy. You're jogging around, and he got the ball. First 2 times he got the ball, he lost it. Like this is an intense situation. You've got to be on top of your game. I'm just saying, Tell at the best of time is terrible. Why would you bring him on over Johnson? I understand everyone's hate boner for Johnson. I get it. But in that situation, it's clear Johnson is the guy you bring on. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that he didn't.
But that also shows the absolute lack of depth and quality in the squad as a whole, doesn't
Yep.
it? And I
Yeah.
think that's what definitely done us last night. If I'm going to be honest, I don't really think it would have made much difference bringing Johnson on over Tell, but at least Johnson has proved a couple of things over Tell. I have seen absolutely nothing of him since we first got him on loan, basically. And I totally agree with Dietrich. Getting Archie Gray on there was just, I mean, that's another time we've seen him play centre mid, and I mean, people think we pick on these sort of players, make them as a scapegoat. No, when a player isn't good enough, I don't care how old he is or whatever, I will say he's not good enough because he's still in that team. He's still getting paid 75 grand a bloody week. The thing I cut him a bit of slack on is experience, lack of experience. Yeah. But I agree with what Dietrich said and what you said. Twice I saw Gray just standing there and point at the player that run past him. Twice. And the other bit I'll go with there, yeah. You mentioned Basuma. I mean, I'll go with Ellie and Dietrich in a sec here, yeah. Basuma should not have been there in any means or manner. Now, I can get it for bringing Basuma as he would have been better than bringing on Archie Gray. I totally agree with that, yeah. But this is where we've been asking for a coach or a manager, or you want your coach to have the bollocks to basically drop a player and tell the player where he can go shove himself when he's not. What's the word? It's not that he's not performing, but when he's misbehaving off the pitch, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, look what Arteta went and done. Credit where it's due at the end of the day. He came straight in there and got rid of Højbjerg and not Højbjerg.
Aubameyang
and
he got rid of Saka as well.
Ozil.
No, Ozil. Yeah. He went straight in there and he dropped the pair of them because he didn't like their bloody attitude.
Yeah.
And for me, Basuma being late, as the manager said, he deserved not to go. And that's where the manager's basically put his foot down, like, right, you ain't going because you ain't been doing it right. And also the point of, we've been asking for our coach, basically, and our squad, and our club as such, you're too nice, you're too this, whatever, you want the player gone. Right, don't play him. Don't give him a shirt number. Don't give him this. Tell him he's going to go train on his own. Push him out of that club if we have to, if we can. I mean, all right, when it comes to crunch, the players still don't have to leave. But we have said for a long time that we're too nice on that. And that is more the sort of thing that I want to see my coach to do. But I do also get the other point. I would have rather had Basuma on that pitch than Archie Gray. I mean,
hindsight is a bitch, right?
Yeah. I mean, Dietrich, what do you think on that?
Sorry, what was the point again?
Basically, Basuma should we have took him or not? For me, I like the fact that the coach left him out because he's misbehaving off the pitch. We've asked for it for a long time for a club to be able to sit there and say, bollocks, we want you gone. We're not going to pick you, this and that. And he got left home because he was late for training what was it, 3 or 4 times. But I do get the point that he would have been better than Archie Gray. But we want our manager to basically take no shit.
You see, I like this attitude. Yes, he did the right thing. My only issue is, if you do that, make sure you have a plan B. And playing Archie Gray was one of the biggest mistakes he ever did in that final. I know Basuma's not good enough. I know Basuma's his head is not there. He's not respectful. It is what it is. But if you gave me the option and forget about what he did, Basuma would step on the pitch way before Archie Gray.
Very true.
And unfortunately, what he did it. You leave him on the bench and don't play him. But this is where you're going to learn to, if you play Palhinha and Bentancur, and you sub off, let's say, Palhinha because he doesn't lack minutes, this is the game where you put Bentancur as the 6. Because he showed he can do it. He showed he can be a deep line playmaker as a 6.
I've told people for ages this one
but,
because he did it.
But Archie Gray, for me, send him on loan. He cannot play 30 minutes next season.
No.
He shouldn't. The Prem or even against PSG, you saw. Do you know those kind of deers when they see headlights, they just get amazed and they just get lost in the middle of the road? That was Archie Gray yesterday.
He was like a rabbit that was about to get run over, wasn't he? Or
exactly.
You want to call it? He just
out of his depth.
Do you know
Yeah.
Do you know yesterday, Darren, when we talked and said we looked at Van der Ven eyes and we knew he was going to miss that penalty?
Well, I'm going to go to that bit
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a minute. So leave Van der Ven out of that.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
gonna
just
go
giving
through
an
the
example.
players.
When I saw Archie Gray and his eyes, I saw a man lost. Like he didn't know what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, when you see a weakness in somebody's eyes like that, and you see how weak he is physically as well. He's a boy. He's not a.
He's a weak man.
Yet.
He's a child.
He's not there yet. He might get there, but we can't wait for. We might get there. We need for now.
Oh my God, Alex, you're not serious. You're not serious.
He's better. Let's just say this then. He's better than Archie Gray. I think that is the point people are getting at. I mean, Alex, I'll send you a link, mate. If you want to jump on, feel free. But
Even
sorry,
Saar rather put him at than Archie got the 6.
Everybody's got their own average, haven't they? You know, what you think is average is somebody else's good, you know, and vice versa. But it depends what you like in a player. So I don't dig at Alex for saying he's average. I just don't personally think he's average.
No, but Ellie, let's be real though. Last night was an elite level performance from Basuma, was it not?
Fantastic.
Say what you want about it.
Absolutely stunning last night. If it wasn't for Spence, I'll give him Spence the man of the match because I loved the way his attitude and the way he got forward, and he was just immense. But Bentancur was just a tad behind him in my book.
The way he got megged was actually hilarious. By Dembele. That was dirty.
That was absolute filth. But you can't help but sit there and say fair play, can you? That's the difference when you've got a player that has got the skill to do it, isn't it? On a football side, it was a joy to watch. As a Spurs supporter, it was like, oh my days, for fuck's sake. But I don't blame Spence for that either. I mean, when you've got someone like Dembele up against you, who has been a very good player for the past, 9 months, I'd say. Because over the past 2 years, I'd say he's been very up and down sort of player, But the past 9 months, I'd say he's been brilliant. And shit happens, basically, when it comes to that one. But I mean, so Ellie, what do you think on the Basuma thing? Yeah, should we have left him at home? Should we have brought him with us? Did Frank do the right thing? Is he doing the right thing with Basuma?
Yeah, I think so, because when you're a footballer, discipline is very important, right? And he would have got a warning, lads. He wouldn't have just dumped him then. He must have had quite a few sessions that he turned up late for, and he would have got warned. So he had his warning and he still didn't heed. So he deserved to be left at home. And I think Frank is showing a strong arm there. And if you show a strong arm to your players, the others will fall. They can't get away with it either, right? Because we haven't got many like Basuma because he's an enigma, isn't he? You saw him after the Europa final, how like he's different, right? He's got that character, he's exuberant. But what he's got to learn in football, that you can't just turn up when you want, and maybe possibly done that at Brighton as well, because they soon got shot of him for 25 mil, right? Which we were all shocked about, that we got a player of his quality for 25 mil. So I think Frank, I'm on his side to show discipline to the players so that you don't think you can take the piss, because taking a piss is not on at a club.
No, I agree. But do you know what? One frustrating thing is with that, though, with Basuma in mind, I think that was the ideal tactics. Well, no. Was it? I think he would have done better than Archie Gray. I mean, Basuma is good at playing box to box, but getting the ball forward. He's not good in defensive in any means or manner. So I'll take that back, and maybe that wouldn't have been the right way to do him. But I think he would have done a better job than Gray, basically, because that is the mistake we've made with Basuma over the past 2 years. Every manager he's had has played him in a defensive role, and he is not a defensive player in any means or manner. And when he has actually played as a box-to-box to press forward, not one who sits so deep to get the ball, he's actually looked pretty solid in a few games. I mean, in the last couple of games in the Europa Cup, when he got played that way, he actually looked good. But I've defended him way too much now. I think there's a player there with good capability, but his mentality is just not there. He's got to go, as far as I'm concerned.
All you want, Dan, people to play for this badge, right? This badge here with the cockerel and the ball. right? You want 100% commitment from every player on that pitch, and we got it yesterday. Yes, the quality went down, but you can't. I can't put my hand on my heart and say Archie didn't try. He's just out of his depth. He isn't there yet, right? If he gets there, brilliant. But I reckon he needs a year in the Championship again or lower league Premiership team to build up his confidence and to become a man. He hasn't even grown as a man yet. So, and he's probably thinking, right, I've done my best at this club and I've given my all, but he's not there. You can see he was like a rabbit with, when they're chasing the greyhounds chasing. It's like that.
The hare. He was like a hare, basically.
When he's chasing the hare. It's like
when you see the car lights on him or such.
Yeah, deer in the headlight.
The greyhound always catches the hare usually, doesn't he? Yeah, so I just think he's not ready. He's
well, the thing
player.
is,
he's got something about him, but he's just not there yet.
Oh, look, the thing is, Raji Gray, what has he played? 3 games for Tottenham Hotspurs in midfield as well. Look, 5,
I think it is now.
Is it 5? Well, that's fine. Okay, that's still shockingly bad, right? So, look, we all agree that Basuma was, Frank was right for reprimanding Basuma and leaving at home, but the alternative was Archie Gray. So it does make you question after the fact, was it the right decision? I don't know, but you've decided to put a midfielder on who's played 5 times for your club in central midfield or CDM, whatever you want to call it.
There's definitely 2 sides to the story on this one, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's definitely 2 ways you can look at it. And obviously, I don't want to go into a full Archie Gray debate, but the question we are asking is, should he have even come on the pitch? And if Basuma was there, Basuma would have took his place. I mean, with a couple of things that Dietrich said, I totally get where he's coming from. Maybe it could have... I mean, Paulinho had to come off for me for the fact that you could see he was burnt out. He was shattered. But maybe not so much Sarr. I know Sarr, and maybe Sarr could have dropped back a bit. This is where you just pick out a few points, basically. And I do agree with a few things you actually said there, Dietrich. I think there's some solid points on with that one. But with the Basuma thing, I agree that he wasn't there. But I can get then what was the plan for not having him as such. Because he would have I think he would have come on and done a better job than Archie Gray. I mean, he did. The poor fella looked lost. I mean, it's like the other subs that came on as well. I mean, I go to Tell now. I mean, what do you 2 think on that? I mean, Dietrich, should Tell have even gone on that pitch as well? Or should Johnson have got picked in front of him?
Do you know what really annoys me with Matisse Tell? When you play with arrogance, make sure you step up on the pitch. And with him, that really pisses me off. He tries to be clever, try to do the Ronaldinho flicks, all that stuff, but it never works. Keep it simple. Even holding up the ball, he couldn't do it. It's just like those little things, even the penalty, which I know we're going to talk about it. It's just those little things that annoys me and do not help his case. And for me, Matisse Tell should be never playing. He shouldn't be playing at Spurs. Send him on loan in the Championship. Do whatever we want with him. But for me, Johnson should be ahead of him in the pecking order. And that kills me. I call him the light-skinned Beetlejuice.
It just shows our lack of depth, doesn't it? And that is the frustrating bit. But I thought Solanke as well when he came on. I thought he was pretty goddamn useless as well.
Yes, he was useless, but you know what? At the end of the day, he's
excellent penalty.
Excellent penalty, but at the end of the day, he should be coming on off the bench if he's not starting in every game. Yes, he didn't play well, but at least I'd rather take the gamble with him and Johnson than Matisse Tell and him.
Yeah.
And
I think it's harsh on Solanke a little bit. I mean, he's
he was crap.
Injury.
He was.
No, he was. I'm not disagreeing, but I think it's a bit harsh on him. I'm not even sure he should have been brought on at all in a final like that, in an intense situation when you've just come back from a big injury. He's hardly played any pre-season. I've got a little bit of sympathy towards him, if I'm honest with you. But no, you are right.
I don't have sympathy for him, right? Honestly, I don't have sympathy.
And it wasn't a big injury either.
Right.
Well, He was out
None
for a
of our
month, wasn't
strikers, lads. None
That's
of our
not a big
strikers
injury.
can hold
he?
the ball up.
Still,
None of them. None of our front three can hold whatever three formation he plays. None of them can. It's like ping pong. You pass it and it bounces off them. They should all be playing table tennis, not football, because it bounces off them like bloody boom, right? And it's just so annoying. I was happy with Richarlison because he actually did what he can do. He can play a little bit, you know. But even him, normally in a match, we're saying he can't hold up the ball. Tell can't hold up the ball. Solanke is a little bit better, but he's not that much better. And Johnson certainly can't hold up the ball. He more or less loses it because of his physicality, not and his skill set. He just hasn't got the skill set, right? So we are very lacking up front, lads. I'm worried if we don't get these players in, we're going to have to play like that all the time to get any kind of result. Because we're not scoring goals if we're not creating, and we're not scoring goals if we can't bloody hold the ball up to bring in other players. It's only Kudus. Kudus is our only outlet, really.
Or Kulusevski, basically, and he seems to have.
But we're not getting in for a while, are we?
He seems to have slacked on that for a little bit because I've said for a while he's one of our only players that could actually have the strength to hold the ball up. And over a bit of time, he seemed to get a little bit worse on that sort of thing. I mean, with Richarlison yesterday, I mean, first half, I didn't think he was that good personally. I mean, okay, he ran about, he put his effort in, he gave us his heart and soul. And that is one thing I've said he always does. But sorry, that ain't good enough when there's no end product out of it. Yeah. But I did thought he did give them a bit of a hard time up there. But I think he had at least 2 chances in the first half where he should have put it in the back of the net, really. And that's just where it shows his lack of capability as a player in that aspect. I mean, if you want to just rate a player on running around like a headless chicken and putting his heart and soul into it, then brilliant. I'll give him a 10 out of 10 for it. But the end product with it, but overall, especially on that second half when he came on, I thought he played well when he came on in the second half. And I do think it actually showed the drop with him to Solanke. It definitely showed. And I've usually been one who says don't even put Richarlison on that pitch. And I think it definitely showed a big drop when you put Solanke on there. I mean, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon it did because the ball was just bouncing back and they were just pounding us for that last 15 minutes. We didn't get any respite, did we? And every time we cleared it, it was to one of their players. There was no outball, really. Nobody was showing themselves, like coming nearer to the defence to pick up the ball. When we were heading it, they were first to it. So we weren't even winning the first or second balls in that last 15. And like I said, they smelt blood and they took advantage. Yeah, that's what great teams do. Even if they were below par, they still got the juice to punish you. In those given moments, that Kane does a fantastic shot. No one's stopping that. And I saw Vicario got a lot of stick for not saving it. Come on, man. That was right bottom pin, right? And it was shot with power. And the second one, Glenn Hoddle made a good point. He said that Romero came out of position because Spence weren't there, and he made the mistake to come out of position. He should have stayed.
Because he pushed up a bit, didn't he, for that?
He still would have crossed it regardless if another player was there. But what Romero was thinking, he was trying to get a block in. But they're so good. That's a class team when you put it right on a nutshell on the bloke's head. You know?
Look, that's one of those teams where they can basically have the shittest game ever and still do you. Because they've got the quality to do it. And their subs are absolute quality as well. I mean, this is where, I mean, another player I wouldn't go to then, Kudus. I thought he had a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Now, I think a few people are jumping off the edge here a little bit when they start saying we've got a world-class player there and that. Like, no, not yet. give me a season or two and I'll start judging him on his capability of being a world-class player. This is where that phrase gets used way too easy, in my opinion, and especially at Spurs. He's not a world-class player. For me, he's a good player with a lot of potential. You can see there's a lot of room there for that he can and will improve. I think he's a very good buy for us. And the way I thought the best thing I saw off Kudus yesterday was the way he held that ball up. Even when he got knocked off the ball, he got the ball back. Even when other players got the ball, he knocked them off the ball. And that is one thing we have lacked at Spurs in that way for a long time. And that's having a physicality on that pitch. And we had 3 players with a bit of physicality on there. And that was Danzo, Paulina, and also Kudus, in my opinion. And I thought Kudus had a brilliant game. I mean, he's got a good cross on him, good pass on him. I think the only thing that we might slack off of him, I don't see that many goals coming from his side. But I don't really think he's an out-and-out goal scorer either. But I think he was excellent at holding that ball up. I mean, because for me, he played a bit of a free roll last night in a bit of a 10 position, but drift out wide, come back in. Because I think we played a bit tighter last night. And also played with the wing-backs to do the job a lot more. But I thought he'd done a brilliant job.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good.
I agree. And I agree that he isn't world class. But if he had this fella next to him, right, Glenn Oddle, yes, right, we get Eze, right, and then if we get Eze, lads, then he can play with him. They'll have a click. He's got an out ball, right? So when he's got holding up the ball so superbly and using all his trickery, he's got someone to support him. Porro does do it, but he's not a number 10. He's not a gifted, creative player. He can pin a pass, don't get me wrong, and he's fantastic at crossing, but he hasn't got that vision like Maddison or Eze has, you know? And, you know, all class players, they've got time on the ball, right? And they look around and they see what's on, and they see it before anybody else does. So Kudus will benefit. If we get Eze over the line, we're going to see the best of him, even more than we're seeing now.
Because he's not a playmaker, not a number 10 playmaker. No. I mean, when I call him a playmaker, I look at Maddison, I look at Eriksson, and I don't think there's many of them about anymore, really. You know, someone who, before the ball even hits his feet, he already has an idea where he wants it to go as such, yeah? And that's what I call an out-and-out playmaker. But I think he can hold a 10 role as such, like Kulusevski can, when needed. But then we have to play him a different way. Then we have to play him as more of a target, attacking midfield central, or even a shadow man as such, like Kulusevski. It's like when people tell me that Kulusevski is a playmaker. No, he's bloody not. He's way too slow for a playmaker, and he doesn't know where he wants to put the ball before he gets it. But a lot of that you can call opinion, but they can hold that position for, let's say, 3 or 4 games if need be. I mean, yeah, I thought he had a great game last night, Ben.
Mate, yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he, really? And like you said, the strength. I didn't actually realise how strong Kudus really is. I was blown away by it. You know, there was an incident, the left-hand side of the pitch, right-hand side of the pitch, or against his left back, where the ball had come over, Kudus had controlled it, pushed back into the left back, and then managed to get away from another oncoming player. Kudus is fantastic, but that's the sort of level of player we should be looking at. It just goes to show you the drop-off after him is frightening. But, you know, as Ellie alluded to, when we get Eze and, God forbid, hopefully Savinho, when we get those sorts of players, he's going to have other people to pass it off to. And I think that's what he needs. And another thing, with him, the issue you've got is, how do you stop Tottenham? You double up on Kudus, don't you? That's really and truly how you stop us from going forward. And, I just think when these new signings come in, if they come in, it's going to be game-changing for us. But, yeah, Kudus had a wonderful game.
Ben, I'll just say one thing that really scares me with Kudus. And let's just say we get Eze and Savinho in a perfect world. Let's just say it happens. We cannot play with these guys twice a week. Champions League at the highest level and the Prem. I'm telling you this right now. We're one injury away. Now we just have Kudus, which is an official player. One injury away from Kudus. And we're going to finish like easily mid-table and below.
And we fall apart again, basically. The lack of depth, you're basically saying, Dietrich.
And my biggest issue yesterday, 2 defenders had to score 2 goals for us to be in that game. 2 defenders. Like, it's not going to work in the Premier League scoring with defenders. Trust me on that. Now it's time for the midfield and the forwards to step up.
No, I do get what you're saying there. You can definitely see the lack of force we have up front, can't you? You can definitely see that.
We haven't
And
got goals.
yesterday, again, it showed. I mean, again, a lot of this comes down to opinion and that. I mean, you could see we missed a 10, a playmaker and that, but I don't think last night it was the number 10 that we missed as much as we missed the striker, because Richarlison had at least 3 chances to put it in the back of the net. So even though we didn't have a 10 who could have created more chances, I get that. But there was chances there for a striker, a better striker, who would have put it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that when it comes to it, we are going to see 2 players of that caliber as such, i.e. Eze and Savino. I hope I'm totally wrong. But like I've said it to people,
we have to. It's not even a case of want.
No, I'm sorry, Ben, I ain't going with that. Yeah, and like I've had other people say that we have to do it, so we'll do it. Yeah, bollocks. Give me something, give me some evidence that Spurs will go and do that.
True.
We've had to do a lot. We've had to do a lot of things as a football club, and we don't fucking do it, or we go for the cheap one. Yeah. So give me some evidence why I can sit here and be positive that we will get both of them.
I mean, I can't lay down facts, Danny, obviously, but
I mean, in the past, there's been many a times we've had to do a few things and we don't bloody do it.
Yeah, I am aware of this. I am aware of this, mate. You know, look, listen, we've gone and we've got Kudus and we've got Paulinho, something we had to do. And I think last night, if anything, shows Daniel Levy in the board, we absolutely need more attacking threats. I genuinely feel Eze and Savino absolutely has to happen, because if we go into the season without players of that quality, we are banging trouble. I mean, I will just say this much on Dominic Solanke. I feel like people are forgetting his capability. I mean, number one, you know, under Ange, he played as a CDM, not a fucking striker. And number two, look, he did, didn't he? What, Dom Solanke?
I wouldn't quite go that far, but yeah, I get where you're coming from.
You know what I'm saying, right? You know, with Dom, I think people forget how good he is at holding the ball up. You know, he can get past the player as well. I mean, there are plenty of incidences where he's gone past loads of players. He's got decent, tricky feet. I'm not saying he's fucking the Ronaldinho of Tottenham, but he is capable of getting past the player.
I've seen him get banged off that ball loads of times. I mean, considering he's meant to be this strong target man, I've seen him get knocked off the ball more times than he's held the ball.
I mean, the one in, I suppose the one time I could think of would be that Liverpool game where we won 1-0, where he held the ball off for Bergvall. He's capable of doing it. I've seen it happen plenty of times. Don't get me wrong, he does get knocked off the ball, but so does every player. It's one of those, isn't it? But he is capable of holding that damn ball up, and I just feel like with better players around him, or more offensive players around him, I feel like we could get a much better tune out of him now. And again, like I said, we've not seen anything of him, you know, under Thomas. So, I mean, time will tell, but I really think, you know, we could get a bit more out of Solanke than what people are suggesting.
I mean, what do you two reckon?
I think Solanke, right? I think he plays his better football when the ball's played over the top. He's got to run onto it and control it and bring players into it. Because I've seen him do it right round the edge of the box, right? That goal against Liverpool in particular, he held off Conte and he was very strong and he laid off the ball beautifully to Bergvall to score. So he's done that on the other side as well. But he was lost in translation because he was, like you said, he was a midfielder rather than a striker. So I can see if we play him as an out-and-out striker like Iriola did, we'll get more out of him for certain. But we still, I heard you last night, Dan, we still need a number 9, a proper fox in the box, who's like a Robbie Keane or a Defoe, someone who can get on the end of things, better than Johnson as a footballer. You know, who can bring players into play with their skills, their technique, right? Not just their ability to score goals. We need somebody like that. And I think it's vital that we get somebody like that in this window, not wait till January. That's too late. We need it for now, right? And number 10, yes, of course it's important. Of course it is. But that striker, we need him. Because Solanke's not going to get you 25 goals. That's for certain. He might get you 10, 15, but we need somebody else because we're We've not got real out-and-out goal scorers. Even Savinho is not an out-and-out goal scorer. Yeah, he scored 3 overall competitions, but his assists are good. So we do need another one who can put the ball in the back of the net, or else we're going to struggle, lads. We're going to struggle.
Another one. We need one.
Savinho did it at Girona. He scored plenty of goals
Yeah,
for them.
he did, but that's a different league. We want to see what he does in the Prem, right?
But he did play a
And he's
different
at an
style with
elite
City
team
as well.
Yeah.
He's at an
Well,
elite
this
team.
Spanish
not
league is a
saying-
harder league than
I'm
the
not
Prem.
saying the Spanish league isn't as good, right? Because it is, if not better. But we want to see what he can do. If we get him over the line, that's going to be beneficial because of his assists. Because he does assist a lot, and he's such a technical player that he'll get us up the pitch and he'll hold the ball up for us as well. So
I think
but we
the
do
Spanish
need that
league-
clinical striker.
we definitely do. I think the Spanish league, I don't think it's better than the Premier League. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
is.
more skillful. I think it's more skillful and faster, but that's it. I think the Premier League is twice as physical. You need twice as much stamina for it, and it's all round better. I think it's like with other leagues that you pick out. I can pick out parts of Serie A that is better than the Premier League. You can pick out parts of Spanish league which is better than the Premier League. German league, you can pick out parts, but I think as an all-round capability league, I think the Premier League is the superior one for the reason, and it also shows on TV and everything else on why it is a superior league. But Dietrich, what do you reckon on Solanke?
I think Solanke's was a waste of money. I think he needs a specific type of play, which was under Poch. Under Poch, he would have succeeded. And I don't know, like, for me, he doesn't do anything right other than pressing. He can't shoot, he can't pass, he can't hold up the ball. Like, what is he good at for us? And I don't know what to say with him. Like, if I say more, like, people are going to say I'm being negative, but...
Do you not feel that was down to the way he was used, though, Dietrich?
No, I don't think so, no. Even under Ange, like, as much as people want to give him praise, do him this, he said that, he did that. If you have Savinho, Kudus, and Eze, you need to upgrade the striker position. And that's my opinion. I believe, like, you can get, like, for example, Dan watched him many times for Juve, like Vlahovic. That's the kind of striker we need. We need someone that can be strong, like, hold up the ball, run, make shots, like, be a threat. Solanke, he just looks like a lanky man. You just blow to him, he's gonna fall. Like, he's a weak striker.
I mean, I don't think he's quite as bad as that one, but I agree with a lot of what you said. I've only ever seen him play one good season. I did say last season he was getting played out of sync, but then you could say that about 9 of the other players as well. And I do think we can get more goals out of him as such if he's played the right way and he's also got the people setting him up properly. But there was nothing to show for me that he is anything more than a bang average player. Not yet. I mean,
and you know what's a shame, right, lads, is that Richie's got a better goal scoring record in his career than Solanke. And
Solanke has only ever had one good season, Ellie. That's just it.
He's only had one good season because when he went to Liverpool, 1 in 25, I think it was, over
That's right.
competitions, right?
Yeah.
And we bought him on that. You can't base yourself buying a player on one season. You've got to have a concrete base of why you're buying that striker, because the striker is probably the most important position in the club, because he's the one who's going to put the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day. And if he's only scored 9 in 34 matches he played, that's a bad return for a top class striker playing for a top 6 club, because we are a top 6 club. We normally finish top 6 or above. So we need better, man. I'm with Dietrich. I don't like the player. I don't like him. He's just not for me. He's not my cup of tea.
No, and I think that, I mean, you can say, all right, he was coming back from injury and that, but Richarlison looked far superior on the pitch to Solanke, didn't he?
Yeah.
And as much as people wanted to give the use the card like, oh, he's young, he's 28, he's not gonna get better.
He's not
Even
young
if you
at
put
all.
even if you put him with better players, it's not gonna change.
He'll score a couple more goals, basically.
Yeah, he might score like what if we're lucky, 12 goals in the Prem. If we're lucky.
I mean, yeah, I don't particularly rate him either. I mean, going back to a good point then, since we picked apart a couple of bad ones, another player that I do want to mention, I think Danzo had a fucking good game last night.
I said it many times. Yeah,
no nonsense centre back, perfect for a number 3. Whereas also, if we did play 3 at the back, I think Dragusin, you'd see a lot better out of him as that no nonsense centre back. Danzo for me just reminds me of a John Terry. Now, nowhere near the capability. That's one of the best defenders there's been in the Premier League. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like him, but like it or lump it, he was a quality no nonsense centre back, and Danzo, he's another one of those ones that he'll put his heart and soul in front of the ball, basically, to stop it going towards the back of the net. And in the middle, being the no-nonsense, with the other two being more of a ball-playing defender as such, I think it actually... I think it actually worked quite well. I think he had a bloody good game last night.
Yeah.
I said it many
skinned once, didn't he? He only got skinned once.
Yeah,
when, I think it was either Barcola or Dewey. But then Sarr came steaming
Barcola.
back. Yeah, Barcola. And Sarr came steaming back because he saw Danso was struggling to get there. And because he's a big lad, he couldn't turn his body to get a tackle in, right? And then Sarr came, woof, and blocked the shot coming, the cross coming in. So, you know, that's what I was impressed with, right? He wants to get there. He's a bit like John Terry, like you said, but even John Terry didn't have pace, but he uses his head and all the experience to get him in those places that he needs to be. But if it's on one with a faster player, he's going to struggle. But then that's where we done so well last night when we double banked and helped each other and worked as clicks. But I love Danso. I think he's a top defender. I think he's going to be one to watch this season. Just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's nothing special or whatever or anything like that. I just think he's bloody good at what he does. He's another one of those ones that just gets on the pitch and gets the bloody job done.
Yeah.
I mean, what is he? Austrian, isn't he? It's not Swiss. It's Austria. He's from, isn't it? Yeah.
Austria.
I think he's a really good player to definitely play as that no nonsense centre back. I mean,
100%.
Dietrich's, yeah. I mean, we've spoke about him a couple of times in that, and you have said to me like you rate him as a player, sort of thing. So go for it.
Yeah, I've watched Danso since he's been playing at Lens in the French league, and he was always like, for me, his best position is in the middle of a back three. But yesterday he played at the right center back. He is the perfect example of a center back that doesn't try to do too much, just does his job, which is defend, put your body on the line, and win your duels. And he did everything yesterday other than once against Barcola. And you know what I like about him, especially? You haven't seen the best out of him, because when he uses his pace, that's when he's lethal.
He's not slow either, is he?
He's not slow. Yeah. He's not slow, but if you put him like he did at Lens in the halfway line, and he tracks back, he is bloody fast. And one thing I didn't know he had it in him.
Good in the air as well.
He's good in the air, and his throws were lethal yesterday.
That was the next bit I was going to come to, yeah.
Yeah, and I just hope he plays a back three going forward, because we really need that in the Prem. If you put Van de Ven, Romero, and Danso as a back three going forward, I promise you we're not going to concede goals as much as we did last year on there, Ange.
I mean, chances are we're going to play with a back. I mean, his throws yesterday, pinpoint. And that is one thing I think that I'll come to next, like, and that's the set pieces side. But so if we're going to play it, I mean, a lot of people think we're going to end up playing with 4 at the back. It does look that way, quite possibly, even though personally I think we should stay with 3 at the back and use wing backs. But again, that's just a personal opinion. Who do you think could actually be the better back two?
Oh, Yes, so I'll answer that quickly because we had a discussion yesterday, you and me, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, our best center back partnership, especially in that under Thomas Frank, it would be Danso and Romero going forward. And I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
I think Danso is a no nonsense center back, does his job, covers, helps the team, win his duels, is fast, he's like physically strong. And then you have Romero, a leader and is a progressive passer from the back. I do believe that Van de Ven, we're going to see the worst out of him this year because he's not going to utilize his pace and he's not really shit in the air.
He is bad in the air. That is one bit he is bad at. I mean, I've said that from day, basically. I mean, Ben, what do you reckon? Your back two, who would you pick? If we're going to play with two at the back, who's your back two?
Do I really need to say this? It's going to be
Well,
Romero and
I've
Van de Ven all day long. I
no,
can't.
who would you have? Who would
Who
you
would I-
have? Personally, it's a
Back
personal
two,
question.
yeah, back two.
Yeah.
It should be Romero and Van de Ven in the back two. It has to be.
Why?
It just has to be. I mean, look, number one, you've got obviously the left footer of Van de Ven. I do to an extent understand what he's saying, but because we haven't really seen Van de Ven as an actual shitting defender. We the best of Van de Ven is him sprinting back 1,000 miles an hour, which is I understand. But I mean, we saw it yesterday with him. I thought he was sublime as well. Another great player in the game. Van de Ven is just he's such a quality player, and I just can't see. Look, Danzo, for instance, is what Danzo gives you because he's so underrated. He gives you a 7 out of 10 performance every time. He just gets it. He puts his body on the line. He's fantastic defensively. He's fairly intelligent, and he's not slow over. He's not a slow centre back, but I just feel Van de Ven has that quality edge over Danso. I feel like in a game, I've seen Van de Ven have sort of 8, 9, 10 out of 10 sort of performances. Whereas with Danso, I've always seen him be good, but I've never seen like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 sort of performance, is all I'm saying. So I feel like the ceiling is definitely there with Van de Ven. But yeah, as I said, if I had to pick, it would be Van de Ven and Romero all day long. I couldn't
Okay, fair enough. Ellie?
Oh God, it's such a hard one to answer.
Yeah, it is.
It's a stinker of a question because I
It
absolutely.
is a bit of a bitch of a question, isn't it?
Do you know what? I absolutely adore players like Danso because they play for the badge and they play for the team, right? And I like his qualities. I like that he's strong in the air. I like that he's powerful. He'll kill himself to get back, right? He hasn't got the pace of Van de Ven, but I think technically as a defender, he's more aware. He's better in the air. But you know what? I'm with. It's so hard. I'm with Benji on this one because I think Van de Ven overall, not just his defensive qualities, but coming out with the ball, getting on the end of things, his contribution all round. I think he just edges it, but not by much. If it was just defensive, I would put Danso. But I'm hoping that we don't have to make that choice, lads. I'm hoping that we play a back three and we get the beauty of all three of them because all three of them have different qualities, right?
But then we do have lack of cover for it.
Yeah, but if I had to choose, I'd have to pick Van de Ven because I've got a soft spot for him as well, and he was superb for us, right? And I think he can defend because we saw it yesterday. The blocks he was putting in, and he's putting his life on the line. Mind you, Danso got one in the old kahunas, didn't he?
Yeah.
He does.
I mean,
the thing is, they're all brilliant at what they do. They've all got their attributes. But if I had to pick one, I'd pick Romero and Van de Ven.
I'll tell you what, though, isn't it nice, Ellie, that we've even got
close.
that problem? It's nice that we've even got that problem that
Yeah.
you don't know who to put in.
I know.
Something we haven't had for a while.
It's like at Arsenal, they've got Saliba and Gabriel, and then they've got a drop-off bigger than ours, I feel.
No,
Yeah.
no chance.
I just don't think Ben White is that, or
no, but he's a right back. He's a right back.
Yeah,
he's not a centre back, is he?
Defensively as a whole, I think our drop-off if we get one more centre back, because we don't even know how Takai is yet, and then we've got Vuskovic. He might go on loan, but I hope he doesn't, because I see a player in him.
I hope we don't see Takai going forward. I just hope.
I don't know about Takai. All I've done is seen reels of
I
him.
hope we don't see him.
Hold on, what is Arsenal's backup centre backs?
They just signed
the one they
Mosquera.
got from Italy. The
Mosquera.
young fella.
Kivior.
And you don't think
he's more of a left? He's more left-sided, isn't he?
Yeah,
Kivior.
left-sided centre.
Yeah.
Dan, did
I
you
don't
agree
think
with
there's
Ellie
drop-off
or
from
disagree?
The Arsenal fans
Disagree.
criticise
Arsenal's drop-off is not as deep as ours, for God's sake.
Yes, it is.
I just don't rate their Kirior or Calafiori. I just don't rate them.
No.
Maybe you're right. Maybe their drop-off is not as good. It's not as bad, sorry. But
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as bad as ours.
yeah, I'll
And
give you
they're-
that one, Dan.
With our two centre-backs, I think it depends on the game. I mean, this season, I agree with Dietrich to a point, because I think the thing that really made him stand out last season, I mean, don't get me wrong, he played good as a defender when he had to, but I don't think there was that many times where he actually had to be an out-and-out centre-back and sit deep as such. And I think the thing that really made him stand out last season was his pace and the amount of times he came back and covered us from the halfway line. Whereas I think this season, he's not going to have to do that quite as much. It's going to happen now and again, but I don't think you're going to see him doing that. And I think that was definitely a point that made him stand out. But last night, I thought he defended very well.
Yeah.
I think for me to judge him properly as a defender, I need to see him play as an out-and-out defender a few more times. Because last season, I don't think he had to do that as much. Like I'm saying, I think it was his pace that really made him stand out in that aspect. For me, it depends what game I'm going from. I mean, Romero's the captain. I'll go to that one soon. He had a great game last night. He always turns up for the final. But for Romero, I need to see more consistency and less injuries as well. I think he's a good player. I just can't call him world-class because I don't think he's consistent enough. But in the big games, like a final or whatever, he does turn up every time. Unlike people like Harry Kane never turned up in a final. He never bloody did. He even struggled with semi-finals sometimes. But I think it depends what game I'm going to play. I mean, Romero goes on there first. If I'm playing a game where we're going to sit back a little bit more before at the back and there's got to be a bit more physicality in it, then I'm starting Danzo. If I'm playing a game where I'm pushing forward a little bit more and I need more of a ball-playing defender and that, then obviously I'm going with Van der Ven. So for me, I think it depends on who you're playing and how you're going to play. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, like you said, Dan, you always say you have to adapt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what team you're playing, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, you've got to adapt. And I think Frank is good at that. He's probably one of the best in the Prem. It's just he needs help. He needs more help, more backup, not backups, more strength in depth. So that when we do have to bring off a player through injury or they're knackered, that we've got the more or less the same quality coming on so that we don't have that drop off. And that will help Frank do a lot more this season because we're still building towards it. But I just hope and pray that our club see that he needs help. And he's got to speak up as well, lads. He's got to speak up. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he's quite a conservative man in the way I see him. But, you know, he does need help 100%. He needs more quality throughout the squad, not just...
Ellie, he said it twice. He has blatantly, like after the game yesterday, he blatantly said that we need more players, basically. And he'd already said it before that the scouting system weren't doing it. When did Ange do that? Ange came out and justified the fact that we had Graham Bergville and said we didn't need any more centre mids because they were that fucking good.
Yeah, but you remember, Ange got 5 first teamers, really. He did. He got 5 first teamers.
So that justifies that he made the point we didn't need a centre mid because Gray and Bergville were good enough.
No, it doesn't justify it, but he probably thought in his own head, Ange, because he's not tactically brilliant, is he? Come on, right, that he had enough. But he soon found out that he didn't have enough. And then at the end, he goes, I need more experience. Why didn't you bloody talk up before? You know?
That's basically what I'm saying. He spoke up when
Yeah.
he knew he was going, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas you can say with Frank, he's at least spoken out twice already that he wants some more players, which I think is a positive thing off the manager.
I hope so.
I mean,
I hope he gets
with
them.
that, I mean, other thing I go to then, I mean, with that game, another good thing that I found quite positive about the game, set pieces. I think we looked like a completely different team when it came to the set pieces. Down to you, three. Be back in a sec.
Yeah. 100%, man. Flipping, like, you know, normally on throw-ins, we're so frustrating. Porro, he doesn't know where to throw. He's taking an eternity to pick out a player. And then he doesn't pick out one of our players. It goes straight back to them. Right now we've got like a Messerschmitt missile thrower. Whoosh! Right, it's so brilliant. And I was so excited. When I saw his throw, he threw it 60 yards with no effort. Poof! Right, and it creates problems. Right, I just think we're going to be so dangerous with that Danso throw, and it's going to create a lot of trouble for defences, because then they're going to expect it now because they've seen it. They've seen it in this game, whereas we didn't really see it in the Bayern game as much because he came on later, didn't he? Right, but that's a fantastic missile to have, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. I mean, it's just another avenue of attack, and it's something that Thomas Frank really does concentrate on. You know, it's nice to see, you know, variations of attacks, whereas under Ange, it was very, very limited, wasn't it? Dietrich, what do you think about our set pieces? Do you feel like they could be good for us going forward?
It's a breath of fresh air. Finally, we can have we can utilize, which was for me superhuman what Danso was doing yesterday. His throw-ins were amazing. But you know who I'm most excited for during our set piece? Is finally using Poro's crosses.
Mm.
The way he crosses the ball is honestly, it's like he's like a magician. It's perfection. It's
been saying this for
and it's
ages,
quick.
mate, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, and finally, even Romero, like he made a name for himself in Italy. He used to win every duels in the offensive box because he was a threat when it comes to headers. And I'm just happy that we have a defensive line. We can defend crosses and we can attack with crosses. That's something we never did under Ange. So it's a good thing, yeah.
You can definitely tell that there's been work on the set pieces because under Ange, I mean, I know people are going to say, why do you have to still talk about him? Well, this is how you see whether you're improving or not, because you compare to the last one that we got. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the way you got to do it. Same way you make yourself better. You look at your problems as well as the good points. And last season, it just looked like that we didn't even have any set piece coaching. Whereas it said we didn't have a set piece coach, but we didn't have a fucking clue what to do on a set piece, did we? Whereas last night, it actually looked like there was a plan.
Well, we were conceding left, right, and center from set pieces, and says he doesn't care.
Yeah,
but true. I'll just say I'm not trying to be negative as always. I'm just scared a bit that we're trying too much with the set pieces and focusing on scoring from set pieces instead of open play.
Yeah,
I think you have to do both.
Yeah,
you see the improvement straight away. Like I was at the Arsenal match, lads. Right, I was where the Arsenal fans are as well, which made me feel terribly sick. Right, but I saw Maddison marking Havertz, trying to defend Vicario, and Maddison, God bless him, he's a tiny bloke. He's a tiny man, and he's physically not ready to challenge Havertz, who's 6'4", for God's sake. And there was no continuity in taking your man, right? At set pieces, defensively, you've got to take your man. You've got to pick your man. If you're doing zonal marking, fair dues, but you cover the angles so that you know who your danger men are, right? But if you're doing man-to-man marking, you take your man. And if you slack, that's your fault, mate. That's your fault. You're getting called out in the dressing room for not marking your man. But bloody hell, we were so disorganised. Unbelievably, we let in so many goals. I think we the first or second worst at letting goals in from set pieces. Well, that shows, doesn't it, that Ange
we were shockingly bad.
Yeah.
I mean, then just quick answer here, like Jamie, why make this about Ange? It's not about Ange, but
comparison is all.
If okay, I totally forget about last season. It never happened, and any other season before that has never happened. How can I now say that we've improved? How can I say what we've improved on? How can I say what we look worse on? How can I then judge the team on whether there's progress or not, apart from just a position? You know, that's how you sort things out. That's how you compare to how you're doing. That's why when you're doing a usual job at most places, you compare to what you've done in the past to what you're doing now to fix it. That's what you do with problems. And sadly, whether you like it or not, he's going to get brought up a lot this season for the right reasons and the wrong reasons. The right reasons for me are going to be when we're comparing, is this now getting better to what Ange was doing? Are we doing this now like we are now? We're saying the set pieces are 10 times better already, and it shows. How else are we meant to judge that we're better? Okay, it never happened. Right, now one of you tell me we're better at set pieces.
You can't.
So that's the only reason he actually gets mentioned.
Yeah.
Because you got to compare it.
Yeah.
I mean, but the set pieces was something I was going on about for a long time that we looked absolutely terrible on. And I do think there is an improvement there. And having a player with a capability like Danzo, which I didn't even know he had that capability, if I'm going to be honest, to being able to throw it that far in the box, that's basically just as good, or if not better at times, than a bloody free kick. Because every time you can throw that in there that far, it can be a problem. So I think we've just found ourselves another blessing in disguise there of another option as such. But I agree with Dietrich when he says we can't just rely on that. But up front, where do you go from there, sort of thing? We've got to give ourselves something to go on. Right, next one I want to go on then, yeah? With the penalties. Now, I thought...
Let me go.
Solanke. Go on, Dietrich. Go on. Go on.
Yeah,
Go for it, mate.
Okay. Penalties, I'll never understand one thing. It's one of the easiest things you can do. Yes, it's the most stressful, but it's pretty easy. You pick a target, you put your laces through it, and you don't think twice. And I'll never understand these players of this generations that you just have to walk from the halfway line to the penalty box, shoot with your laces, and score. But then we have morons like okay, I'll just start with the first penalty. Who was it again? It was Solanke. Vitinha.
Yeah.
Vitinha. I saw Vitinha shooting the penalty. It was the same way that he did in the Club World Cup. I knew he was gonna miss. So already we have an advantage when it came to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Solanke, which, to be honest with you, he got lucky. Oh, fair play. He shot it. He did exactly his job. Fair play to him.
I thought it was a good penalty he took.
I thought
he was put enough height and power.
I thought it was a fantastic penalty. Bentancur, even better. Praise to him. I thought he was going to miss, but fair play to him. But then I go to Van de Ven. When you take a penalty, you have to be arrogant. You have to, same way that Dan always used that example. You need that poker face. You have to see through the goalkeeper. Don't look like you're intimidated. Pick a side and shoot. Whatever happens. Like, that's out of your control. But from the moment he dropped the ball and was looking at the goalkeeper, I knew he was going to miss. It was obvious.
Same. I said it to Beth sitting next to me. As soon as it looked on his face, I said, he's going to miss this. She said, how do you know? I said, look, he's bottled it already.
Yeah, I knew he was going to miss. Then I look, what's his name? Dembele scores a fantastic penalty. But then Matista. How can someone try to defend him going forward with this guy? You have the easiest thing to do. You beat the goalkeeper. You pick the right side. But then you drag your foot all the way through the ball and put it wide, not even on target. You know I think it's like 12 yards away from the box,
Mhm.
the penalty spot.
Yeah.
12 yards, you're not even able to put it on target. Like, how can people defend this guy anymore? I'm tired, but it is what it is. Poro, honestly, I'll never understand that. This guy's like, he's a winger. He's not a defender. The way he shoots the ball. Fair play to him. Honestly, fair play.
Brilliant.
But
I mean,
my biggest criticism in all of those
Bentancur
penalties,
took a brilliant penalty. I thought
Bentancur
well.
did too.
Fantastic.
I had two issues. Number one, your captain's supposed to take that penalty out of the top three. You have to. You're the captain, you're the leader, you should be taking that penalty. And especially Romero playing in those big moments in those finals. And my other issue, Vicario looked, it was the most pathetic display of penalty saves I've ever seen in my life.
It was bad.
Usually when you look at penalties, look at Dean Henderson the way he did in the in the Community Shield. He had a bottle and you used to tell him exactly 70 or what's his name, Pickford, 75% he's gonna shoot this side. If it's this player, he's gonna shoot here, shoot here, shoot here. I don't think Vicario did his studies when it came to penalties. And the way he just jumped, like, I don't know, it just looked like it was what's his name, Foster at goalie when we lost against Wolves. Pathetic display.
I mean, for the penalties for me,
Can't argue with it.
I mean, Van der Ven, I knew he was going to miss it from day one. Like I said, my wife can back me up on this. As soon as camera went on him, I said he's bottled it. He don't know where he wants to put it. He don't know what he's doing. He shouldn't. By the look of it, for me, he shouldn't have took a penalty. But then is Romero any better at taking a penalty? I mean, where I've played football, and I think a few of us can state, sometimes, I mean, taking penalties it's not the easiest thing to do. But do you know what? Sometimes when you take a penalty, just run up to it and fucking kick the thing. If you ain't that good at it, then just go to put it in the back of the net with power. Okay, it can go wrong, it can go over, it can go this, but you have more chance of scoring that penalty as long as you just bloody kick the thing than the goalkeeper has a save in it. It's a lot harder for a goalkeeper in that situation. And yeah, maybe Romero as the captain should have come up and took it. I mean, he's meant to have the stronger head. He's the captain. He's been in finals. So yeah, maybe Romero should have took it. Or maybe they know that Van der Ven is a better penalty taker. I don't know. But Van der Ven, I said to Beth that no, he's fucked. He's going to miss that. And Tell, I think the reason Tell's getting a lot of stick for that penalty is because he mugged himself off. He basically went and done exactly what that who was it? PSG, the one that tried the one who tried piss balling about and made himself look like a complete wanker. I think Tell just basically went and done the same thing. And I think that's why he's getting more stick than Van der Ven for missing the penalty. I don't think it's got anything to do with fucking culture or anything like that, even though you're always going to get some prick who brings it into there, or does make a dirty comment or whatever. I think the reason Telly's getting more stick for it is because he tried being cocky about it, and you could already see where the goalkeeper was going, and he put it fucking wide. At least Van der Ven just took a shit penalty. He didn't try and be cocky with it. But Van der Ven deserves the stick as well for that was a piss poor penalty. Porro, I was like, what's he going to do here? Because I know Porro can lift that ball quite easily as well with the power. But I thought it was a good penalty. But I thought Bentancur and Solanke, I thought they took brilliant penalties. I mean, that's one thing I will give Solanke. Every time I've seen him take a penalty, I've seen it be a good penalty. So Ben, what do you reckon on the penalties? How they took them, who took them? We go to Vicario at the end.
Look, I'll tell you. Look, I'll start with Vicario real quick. I felt
we go to him after the penalties. After the penalties.
As for the penalty shootout itself, I mean, look, listen. As soon as we knew it was penalties, you knew who was going to win. I mean, PSG have just got far too much quality. With the whole situation between Matthias Tell and Van der Ven, people said, if you're going to blame Matthias Tell, you've got to put some blame on Van der Ven. The difference between those two is Van der Ven contributed to the game, So, but no, it was a shit show. There's no two ways around it, really, is there? it was just a poor display. They clearly didn't work on it. There clearly wasn't a plan for the penalty takers. With it, it's just a bit of a crapshoot, really, isn't it? I mean, you can get lucky, you can get unlucky. It's a shame, but regardless, the result was the result. I don't think it's the end of the world.
But what do you think on the penalties, on who took them and the way they were taken? That's what I'm basically asking you.
Yeah, they was all right. I mean, aside from the two that missed, I thought they were pretty decent. Porro can crack a ball, can't he? So we knew that was a good chance of going in. Solanke, wonderful penalty. He's brilliant at taking them anyway. And who was the other one? Who was the other scorer?
Bentancur.
Bentancur, yeah, that was a great penalty as well. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't know, it's hard to judge on penalties, isn't it? Really,
But this is where Ben I criticized Thomas Frank. You're the coach, you need to work on probabilities. Whatever happens. Let's say even if you're 5-0 up, you gotta make sure in the back of your head they can still come back and do a 5-5. This is where I need Polina on the pitch. I need Pape Matasar, which is a bit sad for saying that. You need your first team experienced players on penalties. Tell should have never been on penalties. If let's say it's 5-5, towards the end it is. Even Johnson, I would have put Johnson on penalties.
Yeah,
like you need players that have that international experience and the club experience. Tell doesn't know what it takes to take a penalty in that moment in the cup final.
Yeah.
And Thomas Frank fucked it up, but it is what it is.
I mean, Ellie, what do you think on the penalties? Who took them?
With penalties, right, they're the easiest and the hardest thing to face, right? You don't know what you're going to get. It's a lottery, right? But what you do know is that quality players, usually in the side, do win penalty shootouts. We've seen it with Germany so many times. They've got so much quality. And I just thought, pick and tell, whoever made that decision, be it Frank or Romero, said, go on, lad, go and make a name for yourself, put yourself straight. Wrong decision, because you have to have the kahunas in that situation in a final to put the boy under so much pressure. And you could see he was shitting his pants leading up to it. You could see the sweat.
Then why is he even off on the bloody pitch then?
You know what I mean? He shouldn't have been on the pitch anyway, but because the decision was made to put him on the pitch, and then another decision's made to put him in a penalty situation, I just think it was all wrong. And he's suffering with confidence already, because he misses against Bayern Munich, where he's done that step over and he's cocked it right up, hasn't he? Right?
Is it confidence or quality or both?
I think it's both. But I think the executive decision was either made by Frank or Romero, because he's the captain. So one of the two made a mistake to put him in that situation. I think somebody of more seniority, like Romero, should have stepped up. I don't buy that Van der Ven is better than Romero at penalties, because I've seen Romero shoot. He's got a very good shot on him, and he's got a very good pass on him, so he could pass the ball in net. But I just think we cocked that one right up, and it is what it is now. We can't change it, lads. We've got to take the knock, but we did play well overall. We deserved to win the match over the 90 minutes, that's for sure. But with the penalties, it is a lottery. It can go either way, but when you've got quality players, they generally do step up because they've got the experience as well.
Yep.
But I don't even think it's lottery. Look at Solanke or Bentancur. The goalkeeper gets the right side, but it was so powerful that even when he put his hand, it just bent his hand.
That's what I mean. Some penalties if you ain't that good at it, just put your foot through the ball and get it on target, and that can usually work with a penalty.
Yeah, and it just kills me with Tell. You did that step over where you fucked it up. Now you do this. You try to do the Vitinha, the one step bunny, and you missed it. Stop doing this. Keep it simple. It's a freaking penalty.
there is a lot of mentality to a penalty as well.
Focused.
And like Lucky Singh says here, Dan penalties Germany. I don't think I've ever seen a better, more composed team than a couple of German teams I've seen at taking penalties. Cool,
Yeah.
calm, calculated.
Yeah.
Every single
just
one of them
focused.
usually knew exactly what they was going to do. And where I used to play in goal before I started playing DM, the thing I always used to look at was where the player was looking when he come towards the goal. Because I always found, I'd say half the time, you'd always get the player have a glance at where he wanted to put the ball. That was just a personal opinion, what I looked for. And that is why when you're going for a penalty, you either just go there and stare the goalkeeper out, basically, or you just keep your head down. And it's the same as playing poker in that aspect. The eyes talk. The eyes do talk a lot. But, yeah, I mean, now I go to Vicario, yeah? I must admit, for a good couple of months, I've been getting worried about him. Now, I was one who bigged him up when he come here because I'd actually seen him play a fair few times. And I think he is an excellent shot stopper, especially reflex shot stopper. But I can't say I've seen any improvement on him anywhere else. I mean, how many times did he boot that ball clean off the pitch when he didn't have to? I mean, that was something else I liked about the game last night. A few times it got in the box and they had the attitude of when in doubt, kick it out. And I go with that. No, don't do it all the time. But when it's that messy getting in your box, get the thing out your box, basically. But how many times did Vicario just like put it off the bloody pitch or just into nowhere?
Yeah.
when he didn't bloody have to. Apart from his reflex shot stopping, I think he's very good at trying to command the pitch. You can hear him up the other end of the pitch. But then as soon as it comes in our own box, he shuts up. He's got no command of that area. He's got no control in there. He's got no communication in there. And I can't see I've seen any improvement on him, apart from maybe he's got a bit better at his actual shot stopping, which he was very good at anyway. I'm not saying he's a main one we need to fix, but I am starting to look at him and think maybe next year we need to be looking at a new goalkeeper. Because I'm starting to get a bit worried about it. I mean, okay, he saved our ass a fair few times last year, and when you've got like how many hundreds of shots at you and round about 20 plus a game, you're going to make a few saves. I thought his penalties yesterday, like trying to save it, was absolutely terrible. I mean, did he even go to? I think he went the right way once. I mean, what do you think on that, Ben? Like,
he dived. Bless his heart, on the penalties quickly, he dived 4 times to the right. And the one time he went to his left.
Did he?
Yeah, in a row he went 4 times.
I thought he was more out of sync on his penalties. I'll have to watch that again. Maybe I got that wrong. Fair enough.
Take a look, see, right? And then the one time he dived left, they scored right. It was, a bit tragic. No, look, listen, I love Vicario. I do. I've got a lot of love for him. I think he's a great keeper, but I won't lie. I do understand what you're saying when you say you're getting a bit nervous. I mean, for me, his distribution has fallen off a cliff because if memory served, he wasn't too bad at distribution. I mean, you know,
he's never been good.
Well, I don't think it was terrible in the past, but like yourself, I've noticed recently he's gotten a lot worse. I mean, he was never Lloris bad, that's for sure. But I don't know, man. His distribution's got absolutely shocking as of late. But overall, I mean, look, yeah, he's a fantastic.
I don't think he's ever been good on his feet, Ben. I don't think he's ever been good on his bloody feet, even with the short passes.
I don't know. I mean, look, again, I think anything better than Lloris, I deem decent because, you know, Lloris was shocking at distribution.
Distribution-wise, yeah.
Well, it was shocking. But anyway, no.
I don't think Vicario's any better.
No.
But anyway, go on, Ben. Sorry.
No, I mean, like I say, I don't think it was that bad. It's only been the last 6 months. I think it's gotten worse. But no, look, with him, he's a fantastic shot stopper. His reactions are brilliant. He gets down low real quick, which is quite important. So I do think he's got a lot of attributes that, you know, are nice to have as a goalkeeper. But again, I am leaning towards your side of the argument when I say I am starting to get a little bit nervous with him. So who knows? Maybe you're right. In a year or so's time, maybe we should look at a new goalkeeper. Just want to throw this out there. Donnarumma.
It's well, we
Imagine.
wish.
We're not
Imagine.
getting Donnarumma.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Ben.
Imagine though.
We're not getting
It's
He's
It's just
even
not-
worse with his feet.
I know.
it's
Be nice, though.
it's just not a major one we need to
Mm-mm.
change, is it? Yet, yeah. There's, I mean, how do you want to put it? There's bigger problems if you want to put it in a box as such that we need to sort out before him. But I must admit, as a goalkeeper, he has. I mean, like I say, I think his distribution is just as bad as Lores was, because Lores was shocking at that as well. I mean, a goalkeeper shouldn't really have to do that, but it is the style of football now. A good goalkeeper has to actually be good on his feet as well.
Yeah.
Breaking news: Spence just signed a new deal.
Yep.
Oh,
All okay.
Good. How long?
I think 2029 or 2000
Fair-
or
No,
2020
fair enough.
or 2030. I mean,
That's good. That's good news, because I think Spence has actually proved himself as a player. Whereas one point, I think pretty much most of us were sitting there just saying get rid of him because he wasn't getting bloody played.
Mm.
I mean, Ange didn't even pick him for the fucking Europa side, for God's sake,
Yeah,
which
the
to me
first
made
one-
no sense.
I mean,
But
before
that's done and dusted.
Before he came to us, his previous manager said Spence is a mixed bag. He said Spence will either be at the very top in the Premier League or down in League One. I'm trying to think of the manager who said that. It was a Nottingham. I'm trying to think who it was, but either way, no. Spence signing a new contract, I think, is fantastic news for Tottenham Hotspurs. He was at times last season. He was sublime. And the fact that he can play either side, that versatility is just, yeah, it's a lovely thing to have, is it not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phil, like you say, if Vicario had Kinski's distribution and we would have a real keeper in our hands, no, it's not just down to his distribution. It's the fact that he's got no command in the box. It's the fact that he's no good at coming rushing out either. It's the fact of when we have penalties and that, he ends up either trying to punch it and totally missing it, or half the time trying to catch it and miss it, or even land on his own players. I think there's a lot more to it than just his distribution, but I think his distribution is shocking. But at shot stopping, he's brilliant, but I think that there's a lot more that leaves a lot to be desired, and I haven't seen him improve. So I
Dad,
do
just a
think.
quick one. I've got to jump off, darling.
All right, Ellie, take care of yourself. Good to
Thank
see
you
you.
very much for having me on. Thank you very much.
No, it's fine. Always
Yeah,
good to see you.
Chat. What a great channel you got here, Dan. Brilliant. And
Thank you.
Benji.
Take care of
Take
yourself.
care, darlings. Bye-bye.
See you later. Yeah, I'm only
Take care.
going to go for another 10 minutes because I've got a few things to do as well. And it's so where do you think we most need that player? Yeah, because I can't see us getting both players. I don't see us getting Savino and Eze. I think we'd be lucky if we get either with Spurs, if I'm going to be honest. Me personally, I think that we need that number 10 more than anything, because otherwise, okay, we got a winger, they'll double up on Kudus, I know that. But then if there's no 10 now, where are we going to get any pass into the striker or either side? Again, it's a personal opinion. I feel we need that 10 more. So for you two, if it's one or the other, because with Spurs, the majority of the time it is one or the other, where'd you go?
do you want me to go first?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Whoever.
Yeah. I'll say for me, okay, I'll say two things. Number one, if we get both, I'll praise Levy for 1 hour during your next show. And
Yeah,
if
think
I ever
most of us
hear
will.
Ian blaming Levy, I'm going to lose my mind. That's number one. Number two, for me, if I had a choice between one or the other, I'll say left winger, and I'll explain why. Every game now, Kudus is going to be doubled up, because everyone knows we're going to go. The pass is going to go to him, and I believe if you put Savinho and Kudus, teams are going to have a hard time to defend. And number 10, we have Kulusevski, we have Madison, which Kulu is going to hopefully come soon. I think we can cope for a couple of games. But the left wing position is our weakest link. I don't want to see Odegaard. I don't think he's ready. And I especially don't want to see Matisse Tell or Brennan Johnson on the left.
You know
especially
what?
if we pour 4-3-3. I'm just in the 4-3-3.
I think there are some solid points you made there. I do think there are some fair points. It's just I think Maddison's done and dusted personally. I don't think you're going to see the same player come back as such. I think he might come back capable of still playing football, but I don't think you're going to see him to the same capability. I mean, I think he's a brittle player anyway. I always said that. And I think this one's going to do him good and proper. I mean, he wasn't even recovered from his knee injury before, and now he's just got an ACL injury, if I remember right. And, I mean, for me, I think he's done and dusted. I think we should actually be looking to put him aside, and we need a full-time number 10 in that position, not just a bit of cover. But I can get where you're coming from, Dietrich. On the left, we do look shocking as well. But the way I see it is, if we haven't got a playmaker, then what's the left or the right going to do when they cut in, or to get it, or what's the striker going to get when we've got absolutely no creativity on that pitch whatsoever, basically? Maybe a little bit, maybe some of Porro and a little bit of Bentancur. So
but at least even if you don't play with the number 10, you still have Porro that can help you with that. You still have other players. Bentancur can be a deep line playmaker. Even if he's not consistent at it, at least he can do that. But the left wing, I don't want to see Kudus getting doubled up every single day going forward. He needs help. And I'd rather have 2 good attackers out of 3 and struggle on the playmaking side.
I mean, Ben, what do you reckon?
I very much shadow what Dietrich has said, mate. But however, I don't really care either way, whether it's a number 10 or a left wing. Like I said, I would prefer a left wing because I agree. I feel like it's our weakest position. But yeah, I think either one we get, it doesn't matter. You know, look, I think the main thing is we just need another outlet, don't we? Because again, as what Dietrich said, Kudus is going to get doubled up on. So no matter what happens, we absolutely must get either a 10 or a winger. I mean, for me, and you know, I'm going to go out on a limb here.
We need both.
We do, 100%, and we better get it, Mr. Levy. We better get it. But for me, I would much rather, and no Spurs fans going to agree with me here, I would much rather have Savinio over Eze if I had a choice right now. And I think the reasons for that may or may not be obvious. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I shadow a lot of what Dietrich has said. I feel like the left wing is a bit more important. And as well, to be fair, Kudus, he tends to switch quite a lot as well in game. And if you're
doesn't Eze play on the left as well?
He does. But he's
10.
Yeah, he's not an out-and-out left, though, is he? Let's be real. Let's. You want to put him where he's best at, and that is the 10 position. So, yeah, really and truly, mate, I'm with Dietrich.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking too much of myself the way I would play football as such. But for me, with the only creativity we would have is Bentancur, and I've said for ages he played as a deep line playmaker, but that was more of a short direct ball we played that. And Porro, yes. And this is what I've said about the manager. Okay, everyone's saying cut him slack and everything. Yeah, of course, cut him some slack. He's only been here 2 bloody months or whatever and that, yeah? And with some of the suicide stuff we actually saw, I think it was a breath of fresh air for the sheer fact that we see some organisation there. I think that was what done it for a lot of us there. And this is where, at the end of the day, if we don't get either of the players, which just wouldn't surprise me at Spurs either, nothing does surprise me. I mean, we had a player and we had him on the bloody ready to get him and whatever and that. And we still didn't get the bloody player.
No,
so nothing would surprise me at Spurs, yeah? And saying that we have to, that's irrelevant to me because there's been many of things Spurs have to do and they don't go and bloody do it. We're one of the most known clubs for doing that as such. And then, to me, it's then down to Thomas Frank to get the best out of what he's got. And I've been one, along with a couple of others. He was my third choice manager because I know he's a good coach and he's got a plan A, B, C. Whereas you have to compare it. Ange only knew one way of football and one way only. And he even admitted, and the players said it as well, that in the final, the semi-final and that, they actually told him how to play the fucking game. And then he's got to adapt and play with the cards he's got, which I think he's got the capability of doing. And that's why I said I want him as a manager. Because then that is the manager's job to get the best out of what you got. Whereas the problem we had last season is Ange only had one way and he didn't care if the player could play that way or not. You still had to play Ange's way. This is where I feel a good coach, okay, he wants his way to play, but he's got to slowly build into it, getting the players he wants. So what he's really got to do, if he hasn't got the capability, like if he hasn't got the players with the capability of adapting to a different style, then he's got to play them to what they're best at, whether he likes it or not. Because what is the prime job of a manager? Go out and win the fucking game. Get as much points as you can. Go out and play whatever way you need to play. I mean, the football we saw last year is some of the worst I've ever seen of Spurs. I mean, it was kamikaze. I mean, we got opened up the same way every fucking game without fail. I prefer stability in a team. I start a team from the back and sort my defence out. But again, that's just me. That's just opinion. And I think Frank has got that capability of playing with the cards he's got a lot better than our previous manager. But then that is what he's going to have to do if he doesn't get the players that he needs. He's going to have to adapt and change it, like he showed he can adapt last night.
I feel like it can't get to that point, Dan. I feel like it cannot get to that point. We absolutely need reinforcements.
But it can get to that point, Ben. That's the problem.
It can't. Mate, there is no way. I mean, you'd have to be a moron if you look at our team and think, yeah, we'll be all right for the season. You know, and there's no way Levy is that naive, surely. But look, what worries me with Savinho, for instance, is I'm seeing that his agent has come out and said the only way Spurs are getting Savinho,
said it.
Well, the only way Spurs are getting Savinho is if they throw in a bid of over 60 million. So for me, the likeliness of that happening, I don't think this Savinho is going to happen at all. I'd be very, very surprised. I mean, I don't know what Levy's got in store for us with him, but 60 million, that's a lot of dough, mate. And I mean, look, our initial bid was what, 45? Something like that. Eze, however, looks a bit more promising.
But
does look a bit more promising.
Sorry, Ben, think about it this way. We spent 60 million on 65 million on Solanke and almost 60 million on Richarlison.
I know.
If that's the price we pay, I'd rather Savinho's worth like 100 million. Like everything is inflated now.
Yeah,
60 million now is the new 30 million.
No, it's not a lot of money, but for Daniel Levy it is. For Tottenham Hotspurs, it's a lot of
60 mil is 60 mil. I agree with what Danny's just said here. Spurs cannot play like they did yesterday the whole season. Not possible. No. It's not impossible. I mean, Chelsea did it for a whole season, and look at what Leicester did. They went a whole season and they barely had it, and they had minimal contact to the ball basically, and still done a season with it. I think we would have a significantly better season playing that way, but no, we can't play every game like that. But my point is, if we don't get the players we need, and either one of you two tell me that that is not in chance as such, because at Spurs that can happen, that we won't get the type of player we need there, yeah. And I think we all know that is more than capable. Then the manager just has to adapt with what he's got and play with the cards he's got. Does he not? That is his job, isn't it? Then maybe he has to play a better way of playing 4-3-3 or 5 at the back or 3 at the back or 3-5, whatever way you want to do it, and then get the best out of like what you said, Dietrich, to get the best out of Porro to get the ball in there, get the best out of Bent and Core to do it, or Kudus to try and set something up. Then he has to find it to work somewhere else. Isn't that what a manager's job is all about? I mean, everyone can sit here and say, yeah, but it don't work like that. Bollocks, it don't work like that. When a manager's job is to get the best out of what he's got through and through. Please, it shouldn't have to work like that, but we know at times it does.
The fact that we're even sitting here, right, starting a conversation that Frank may just have to work with what he's got left is just...
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not, mate. But the fact that
we know what Levy is like.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. The fact that we're even sitting here considering that as a frigging possibility, mate, makes me want to throw up. I mean, as I said previously, at this point, it's a must. It's a have to. You have to do this. We cannot. Look, again, what Danny said, you very much agree with him as well.
He's right. He's right on what he's saying. We can't play like
is.
that every game, especially
you
when another
can't.
team goes low block. You need to play that way. You do need a certain, like, basically like a team like Chelsea, who absolutely destroyed the season playing exactly that way. But they had the players that could do it as well. And we need those players more than ever. A 10, again, for me, is more important, but it's in a personal opinion. But we need both of them. And you could say we need a striker as well. But who actually thinks we're going to go out and do it? I could only see us getting one of them if we're lucky.
Yeah, if we're lucky. I mean, look, do you know what? The longer it goes on, the less likely with Tottenham it seems to be, doesn't it? It's going to happen. I mean, if I'm honest at this point, I have very little faith in either transfer. So this conversation is worrying me. I don't like it.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. We're not going to sign any of them. We're going to sign a panic buy towards the end. And Thomas Frank is going to fail by Christmas.
You think?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's getting the sack. I'm not saying he's getting the sack. I'm saying he's going to fail miserably.
And how do you mean by that?
What do I mean by that? We're going to lose, like, what? By Christmas? Probably, like, 7 games, 6 games. And Champions League, we're going to get battered left, right, and center. We're going to be a minus on the table.
I mean, after the show yesterday, it's made me a bit more positive, definitely, on the points, but I still don't think we can hold that consistently in the Champions League. There's going to be a couple of games where we can play that way, and then there's going to be other games we can't, just like the league, where there's at times where you go against teams and you just have to be out and out dirty defence. One of the problems I do see, though, is with the Spurs fan base, is that they don't want to see Spurs play a certain way. I mean, last season we had people preaching that they'd rather we lose 6-3 to Liverpool than win a game 1-0 because it's more the Spurs way. It's better football to watch, which I think is bollocks. I don't care if we win scrimping and scraping or whether we win playing brilliant. I just want to win.
Did you enjoy the way Conte played?
Yes.
I wanted to smash my head against the wall
at times.
Every time I watched this.
Sometimes, with some of the players we had, it was very hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. But
first season, Conte was good.
I was about to say, the first season he got us playing, we actually played pretty good. I mean, we took Arsenal apart and we took other teams apart, basically. And it's like yesterday showed you can play counter-attacking direct football and win, but we ain't going to be able to do it every game. And I just think we're going to be very lucky at Spurs if we get a left wing and a 10.
And Conte's second season, I don't blame him because he lost like 2 of his best friends. And you can tell like his head just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely
so
fair.
I'll give him like the leeway there. But like the way, honestly, I hated the football of Nuno, Ange, Mourinho especially, and Thomas Frank. I'll give him the time, but for me, the most entertaining football I've watched was under Conte his first year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. His first half season with us or whatever it was when he came to us and a bit after was a lot better, and then it did actually get quite painful. But then you look at the defence he had. Can you imagine Conte if he had this back five? I think it would be significantly better. I mean, look who he had at the fucking back for God's sake.
And the midfield.
Yeah. I mean, the main advantage he had a prime Son and he had a prime Kane. Apart from that.
And Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Do you not think that goes around in circles, though? Do you not think? I've noticed a few times we've lost a manager, and in the following season we've gathered a team together that would play better under the previous manager. Is that not a little bit, odd? I mean, because it's funny if we do. Let's just say by some divine miracle we go and get the Savinho and Jurej's. Would you then maybe a year down the line, if Frank doesn't succeed, think this team would now be perfect for Ange because he's got that destroying number 6 and he's got the 2 huge outlets in the wingers and an unbelievable cam.
It's happened a couple of times, isn't it? It has happened a couple of times where we seem to get managers for the previous season, for the previous managers. We seem to get players for the previous manager instead of the manager that we've got now, basically.
Yeah, it's very strong.
I mean, look, however it's going to end up, I don't think we're going to be nowhere near as bad in the league as this year. Have we got a capability of winning a cup? I think every season anyone can win a League Cup or an FA Cup. I think that was proven last year.
And you play like that. You play like that against anyone else, the way we played against PSG, mate. That is a cup-worthy winning performance.
But then we need people who can finish, and we need more creativity.
True.
Yeah?
True.
And there will be other teams that just shut up shop, and then you've got two teams that are playing counter-attacking football. It can become very, very hard. But then if we don't get some depth in that team, get our left, get our 10, and then maybe even get someone else, I mean, because like we've already said, for me, Archie Gray has to fuck off. He has to go on loan. He's not good enough in any way for that first team. And then you can say the same about Tell as well, really. We have got players that are in that first team as such, including the subs bench, that just ain't good enough. They ain't ready yet. They might be good in 2 years, but here and now they're just not ready. Same as that cost us last night, and we absolutely see it. But I suppose only time will tell with the transfers we make before the end of the window. I just don't see us getting both players that we need.
And I know you're not a fan of either of them, but I want to throw a question out to you. Out of Tell and Gray, who do you see possibly succeeding over the other? And take into consideration everything. So, for instance, when I say that, I mean Gray has not played in his preferred position for most of his Spurs career. So just I'm going to throw that in there.
And Gray didn't play in his position for most of his Leeds career either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I would have to say Gray, because I've seen better off him than I've seen Tell. Tell, I have just seen nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, even when he scored a bloody goal, it bounced off him and he didn't even know he fucking done it, for God's sake. Yeah. So I'm going to have to say Archie Gray with that, because you can put him as a right back, you can put him as a centre back and centre mid. I think that is where he's been at his worst, and that's meant to be his position. I don't think he's going to get many games in centre mid, because there is players far superior to him in that position, and every time he's played there, he's been absolutely torn a new one. And I think because all he's going to end up is if he stays at Spurs with a game here and there, I don't think that's going to progress him. I think he needs to go on loan. But out of the two of them, I'd say Gray has been the more promising, if you want to put it like that. The one who looks like he's actually got a bit of potential.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he covered his positions good enough for the capability he's got last year. I mean, he ain't a centre-back, and he covered it as good as he could. But if that would have been an actual centre-back sitting there, he'd have got absolutely slammed for some of the mistakes that was made. And he definitely don't look like a right-back. And he definitely don't look like a centre-mid or a DM as well. I don't even think I actually know where is his prime position.
Oh, I've got a little question for you, Dietrich. From what we've seen from Matthias Tell so far, Matthews Tell, whatever his name is he one of the worst players who don a Tottenham Hotspurs shirt you've ever seen?
Oh,
big one. Just so far. I know, I've only seen him for what, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it is.
Okay, I'll give you a list of the worst I've seen.
Go on.
Getson Fernandez.
Yeah. Vincent Johnson.
No,
Janssen.
Janssen was pretty bad.
He was fucking bad.
Ange was pretty bad.
It's just, I'm only asking because for me, Tell gives you nothing.
Okay, I'll say one thing. For the price, availability, and I'm just sick and tired of watching him, is the pigeon. Because 60 million, always injured, never scores, never does anything right, can't control, can't do. I'm pretty sure he's Dominican, he's not Brazilian. He is the worst player I've seen. I think he's worse than Matisse Tell. Tell at least has age on his side.
No, you can't. Come on, man.
Tell has age on his side. That's the only thing I'm going to say he's lucky at.
I think what Dietrich is trying to say is that he sees potential.
You think there's a glimmer of hope with Teldia?
No, I wouldn't say he's going to be better, but at least he can do something, maybe. Richarlison, from the beginning of his career, was always a lost cause.
I mean, it's like Jamie says here, Richie is the best 9. That just about says how bad we are. And then what you say after that, stop hating. Stop using that word. I don't use that word, apart from when I talk about Brussels sprouts. It's nothing personal. I am allowed to say a player is shit if I think he's shit. Same as you are, same as anyone is. Same as anyone's allowed to say a player is good. There's no hate in it. What? So just because I don't think a player is good, I hate him, I despise him? No. It's like I say with Son. I just don't think he was world class, but I think he was bloody brilliant. You know, does that mean now I hate him? Mind you, I have been called things for that. But again, just because you don't rate a player, I mean, the fact that he's Brazil's number 9 shows how far Brazil have come downhill as well. I mean, are we now going to say that he's got relevance to R9 and stuff like that? I mean, come on, be real. He has not been... It took him over 50 games to actually go in a scoring run of, 10, 11 games where he scored on the trot. I think before then he scored bloody 10 goals. I think he tries really hard, but he just hasn't got the finishing on him. So what? Are we now going to say that Werner was a good player? Because Werner was one of our only men last season that could actually beat a man on the ball. He was better than bloody Johnson at it all day long. He actually beat his man enough times. He just couldn't pass or bloody finish. Cross pass or finish. And Richarlison...
Do you know what?
I mean, if you've just said he's the best 9, you've now said he ain't a goal scorer.
Did you not think he was any good at Watford and Everton? I actually thought Richie was right at both clubs. To be honest, I genuinely liked Richie when he was playing for Everton and Watford. I thought he had something to him. I thought he had a little something about him. But I'd only say he's been terrible since he's come to Tottenham Hotspur. But then is that down to his injuries? Who knows? I just don't think he's at that level. You know, I don't hate Richie either, but he's just fucking useless. He's a nuisance at best.
Yes, that is one thing he is actually very good at. Like, even when he came on against Arsenal, he was... he can be a pain in the arse in the box.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I just don't see a consistent goal scoring off him. Just because a player can run about like a headless chicken, it doesn't make him useful. Now and again. But you need your striker, your 9, to be able to finish, don't you? And Richarlison can't do that, really.
What you've been bought for. And the fact that we paid 50 million for it, Dan. 50 million.
Then look what we paid for Solanke. What one did we get knocked on more? Solanke only ever had one good season. At least with Richarlison, you can say he had a couple of respectable seasons.
Do you know what? I'm going to make an argument for Solanke because this drives me crazy. I've seen Solanke be very good with the ball at his feet. I've seen him beat a man. I've seen him hold off his player. He had zero service last year. And for the most part, he was playing as a bloody centre-back / CDM. He was way too far back, and that was on Ange's instructions. Listen, he got 20 goals in the league or 19 goals in the league for Bournemouth. I'm not saying Solanke's world-class or he's a great... I'm just saying I feel like you can't compare, at least with what they offer in game, Solanke to Richarlison. Solanke can offer way more than Richie. You got to think of the games you've seen Solanke in where he's been sublime. You know, to the point sometimes I remember sitting back thinking, fucking hell, I didn't realise how good Solanke was with his feet. I think he's a decent striker. He just needs service. He's not had that at Tottenham. He got that at Bournemouth in that season and he got himself 19, 20 goals. He has the capability. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like people give him way too much shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, on just what I'm seeing here, hopefully Danny's right. One guy is saying the first offer 58 million plus 7 million add-ons for Eze, apparently pretty close to the release clause. Who knows? We might see him.
Do you know what? To be fair, as I said earlier, Eze seems far more likely, doesn't he, than Sevilla?
I mean, it's like with this as well, what Ghosted has said. Kudus has been here for 2 months. Richie has been here for 4 years and done fuck all. I mean, Kudus, you'd already take him over Richie all day long. The sad thing is, Richie gets injured all the time, and he can't fucking score. Come love nor money.
So, just do you not feel that Solanke has any hope for us going forward? Do you not feel like, because Thomas Frank's got a funny way of getting something out of a big number 9? Do you
I
not
think
feel...
I think you can see more goals out of Solanke, but we've got to play him 100% his way. Because, I mean, to me, he's more of a target man. As such, I've only ever seen one good season in his entire career.
It's true. Oh, it is.
So
true.
I don't really rate him as a player. Same as I don't rate Richarlison. That's why we're so shocking up front. Same as I say Johnson can only score one way with his little tappings. Same as I say Tel and Odegaard on the left are just what do they give you? Even though I think Odegaard, I've seen a bit better out of him than I have Tel. It's up front, we just do look that bad. Barkudas, basically, and Kulusevski when we get him back. We just do look that bad up there, don't we?
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. This is why I feel like it's a must. It's a have to. We have to buy these reinforcements. I will be a happy man if we get 4 new players that walk into our first team. The latter obviously being Eze and Savinho. You can only hope and pray, but it has to happen. He's got to do something. He's got to step it up. You know, we can't go into a season without a left wing and a cam. There's just no way. There's no way. Again, you know, I know we didn't have him last night and it was a fantastic performance, but that's situational. It's a final. It's a big occasion. You know, are we going to play like that against Burnley? Probably not. You know, we have to have reinforcements.
But would you be absolutely shocked if Spurs didn't do that?
No, I wouldn't.
Because we are known for exactly. So all this saying we have to do this and we have to do that, that's all good and everything, but we know what Spurs are like at the end of the day. But hopefully, by the look of it, from what Danny's saying on there, and a few people are saying, and just what I'm looking on the news, it's looking like Eze is a good possibility. And I think there's quite a few of us that have been saying for 2 years now that there is a possibility that he comes here.
Who was the source, Dan? Was it an ITK? What was the source that said that?
I don't know. You have to ask Danny that. I didn't look on X. I mean, and Jamie, again, what you're saying, Richie has 28 goal involvements in 33 for Brazil. Yeah, and I think Brazil are shit. When you talk to me about Brazil, I look at Rivaldo. I look at R9. I look at Ronaldinho. I look at Roberto Carlos. I look at Cafu. Now go and tell me Richie's in their level. These days, Brazil are nothing compared to what they used to be. I mean, when Richie is the striker and they used to have R9 as a striker, I think that just about says it all in that aspect. So do either of you see us getting the players then? That's the last I'm going to ask because I'm bloody hungry.
Go on, Dietrich.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't hear the question. I'm so sorry.
Do you see us getting either of the players?
Oh, no. Because I've seen this movie so many times, I know we're not going to get any of them.
I just hope you're wrong.
Yeah, no, I hope I'm wrong, but it was the same thing on their, what's his name? The fuck is his name? The Argentinian that used to play Juve. What's his name?
Dybala?
Dybala, yes. I saw this movie with Dybala. I saw this movie with Eze last year.
Leonardo Di Miel, Dietrich.
Yeah, no, I don't have any trust. And especially if Levy is the one taking care of the money, like of transfers, like price tags, we're not going to get any of them.
I mean...
And you know what's the worst thing he did? If the season starts, and let's say, God forbid, like, what's his name? Either Man City or Crystal Palace, they have injuries. They're not going to sell their star players. It's not going to happen. So the sooner the better.
We need this to get done, don't we? All right, then, well, look. I am absolutely starving. So thanks for you two coming on, and thanks for Ellie for coming on. Thanks for everyone for watching, and also massive thanks to Jason for the super chat, and also Paul Watkins, much appreciated. Hopefully we get this shit done, at least one of the players. I know we need both of them, but at least bloody get one of them, and hopefully we get both of them, but I think we can get one of them, and I just bloody hope we can. All right, then. So I'm going to finish this and send you all over to the two marks. Go in there and give them a like and subscribe and say hello. And just say Hotspur, raid, whatever. And do say hello to them. Do at least give them a like on there. So thanks for everyone for watching. It's appreciated. Thanks for everyone for coming on. And I'll speak to you again soon. Take care, people.